$150,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get a free rate quote with no hard credit pull, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hello? I'm a Marine. It took me a long time to make this call.
If you or a veteran in your life is experiencing thoughts of suicide, dial 988, then press 1 to reach the Veterans Crisis Line.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Looking at a nice afternoon, lots of sunshine out there, a high temperature well above normal at 70 degrees. Overnight, though, we switch things up. Clouds roll in, a few isolated showers. We'll see mid-40s tonight, but only low to mid-50s tomorrow. So tomorrow's chilly, damp, and cloudy. But Sunday's the opposite. We'll see temperatures climbing into the mid-70s under mostly sunny skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 428 points at 44,318.
It is The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim Donnelly today. Hopefully everything from we anticipate Graham, who is producing, Graham Hill. Everything going well with Baby Watch 2025 for Tim Donnelly. The plan was for the baby to arrive today. I have not heard any updates. Maybe we should get some play-by-play from Tim. I'm kidding, Graham. Let's not call Tim right now. He's got other important things. But, Graham, we're getting ready for a big weekend.
Yes, we are.
Tons of action in sports here involved with a bunch of local teams. Some really good matchups with a lot of stakes. UNC taking on Pitt tomorrow. We'll talk about that. Also, Clemson hosting Duke, which is going to be one of Duke's tougher games in the ACC this season. Might be the toughest game they play in the ACC this season.
Might be their last true test of the regular season.
They still have Illinois, and they still got to go on the road to UNC. And obviously, there's that big game on Sunday. We'll definitely dive into that a little bit more as well. But let's actually go into the last night. Carolina Hurricanes lose 2-1 on the road to the Minnesota Wild. And it's frustrating. I get it, folks. It's frustrating. And there are three things I want to take away from that game last night. They just couldn't buy a goal. They attempted 91 shots on goal last night in that 2-1 loss. They attempted 91. 38 found their way to the net. Only one crossed the goal line. That's frustrating as heck. Now, I understand. Frustration's growing. Frustrating to watch that game last night. You can see the frustration on the players. You can visibly see the agitation from them. Slamming sticks, slamming the door when they get back to the bench, all that kind of stuff. I mean, heck, Mikko Rantanen broke a stick yesterday. Frustration setting in. I get it. I totally get it. These guys, right away, all the changes that were made, they want to produce. They want things to go right every single night. That is understandable. We want them to be great right away, and we want it to all work right away. But it hasn't fully. Not yet. More on that in a bit. But again, we visibly saw the frustrations yesterday, and they could not catch a break. Rob Brindamore, the head coach, talked about after the game. Look, tons of shot attempts were taken, but nothing being able to find the back of the net.
Can't fault the effort. I thought we had a good game. We had a good first period and come down 1-0. We gave up, kind of a weird one where we got skated, and then they made a nice play. You got to tip the hat. Second period, we were kind of even. Like, I thought it was not much going both ways, and then we made another kind of poor decision on the second goal, and that's, they made us pay. So, tough night. We definitely had enough opportunities to get more than one goal. Maybe we don't win the game, but we certainly deserve to get something out of that. But that's kind of how it's gone for us this whole year, to be honest with you.
100%. 100%. And it's amazing how sometimes just one bad shift, one bad mistake turns into a goal against. We saw it yesterday in the very first goal for Minnesota. Great shift overall by Carolina. Puck comes down the other way. Jalen Chatfield pressures the puck. Dmitry Orlov doesn't recover back to the middle of the ice to protect the middle of the ice. Leaves the guy wide open. And also Jack Roslovic, lazy on his back check. Just did not get back to help. And leaving Freddie Anderson out there all alone. Jalen Chatfield looks over his shoulder, like, where is everybody else? So again, frustration mounting. Rod Brindamore, even before the game, shook things up a little bit, trying to get something going. I know a lot of Canes fans, we trust me, we've seen the comment section, whether it's our YouTube live chat, which, by the way, check us out, 99.9 The Fans YouTube page. Watch this live stream, leave your thoughts in the comments. Let us know your thoughts on last night. But we see in the comments, hey, got to put Seth Jarvis on the top line. Got to put Seth Jarvis on the top line. Seth Jarvis needs to be up there with Aho and Rantanen. What did Rob Brindamore do yesterday? He put Seth Jarvis up there. Got a bunch of looks. Nothing came of it. Jackson Blake, who's been catching strays from Canes fans, it feels like, had plenty of chances yesterday, including one on a penalty shot. Puck just rolled off the heel of his stick. He had Gustafsson beat. Puck just rolled off his stick. Frustrating. He's a rookie fighting through it. And the depth scoring just isn't there right now. Remember Jack Roslovic? Graham, remember Jack Roslovic? Remember him?
Yeah, one of the leading scorers at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, since the turn of the calendar year into 2025, he's played in 17 games. Missed one game because he was when he was sick. 1 goal, 1 assist, -7. 1 goal, 1 assist, -7. And that goal and assist has come since Mikko Rantanen has actually been traded for. So, yeah, it's struggling. But which leads into the second thing. Power play? Yikes. Since the turn of the calendar year, like I mentioned with Jack Roslovic, 18 games for the Carolina Hurricanes. 46 power play opportunities. 2 goals. 2 power play goals on their last 46 chances, all in the calendar year of 2025. That's 4.3%. Woof. Rob Brindamore spoke pretty candid about it.
Yeah, our power play stinks. Yeah. I'll just leave it at that. Like our penalty kill did a nice job. So that's not the difference in the game. It's if they get a power play goal, then it really is. But we at least saw that off. But we got to find a way to score some goals. And I don't know what the answer is. We got certainly putting up good opportunities. We just got to finish.
Yeah, Graham, I just want you to cut the first 2 seconds of that. Just Rob Brindamore saying the power play stinks. Yeah, it stinks right now. And we've seen Rob Brindamore try and shake things up to get things going. I know Shane Gostisbehere missed a chunk of time. He suffered an upper body injury late in December. He missed a chunk of time. Even since he's come back, hasn't been the same since it was pre-injury. And again, Rob Brindamore shifted things around. He's got Mikko Rantanen, obviously, on the top power play unit now with Martin Necas is not there. He put Brent Burns up there. He put Jackson Blake up there, shifted guys around. So you get Svechnikov down on their quote-unquote second unit, along with Taylor Hall, who was recently acquired as well. The aforementioned Jack Roslovic. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, who had his hot moment of a few games. He's on that unit as well. No Jack Drury because he's traded away. This power play at the beginning of the year was cooking. Right now, not so much.
It's like 2 of 46 to begin the year.
What's that?
I think we were talking about this morning on Next Up. I think the stat right now, the Carolina Hurricanes power play to begin 2025.
Oh, you're talking about the year. I thought you meant the season. Sorry.
No, yeah.
But yes, 2 of 46 to begin the calendar year. That is 4.3%. Which leads into the final thing. Third thing. Don't panic. It's okay that they're figuring it out now. That was the whole point of making the moves early for Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall. That was the point. A lot of people are going to point and say, yeah, hey, look at Martin Necas. He had a couple goals and an assist last night for Colorado. You know what Necas is not asked to do in Colorado? Play defense. And Rantanen was not just brought in to contribute in February, folks. He was brought in to be a superstar in the postseason, which is something he has proven to be. He has over 100 points in 81 career playoff games. 100 points in 81 career playoff games. There's guys who can't even get 100 points in 81 regular season games, let alone postseason. It's Rantanen's style of play, around the net, winning puck battles along the boards, plays in the corner. He's not afraid to play below the circles in the offensive zone. That is something Martin Necas doesn't. That playoff style hockey, being physical, sacrificing the body, quote unquote, to win along the boards. Necas doesn't do that. That's why Necas in 59 playoff games only has 30 points. People are going to throw out Rantanen play with Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar, two of the best players in the league. I got that. Trust me, I get it. Rantanen play with Nathan MacKinnon, one of the best centers in the league. I understand. Yeah, Necas' numbers are going to go up playing with Nathan MacKinnon. Yeah, and Cale Makar is a defenseman. Mikko Rantanen without Nathan MacKinnon playing, 54 points in 51 games. And Cale Makar is a defenseman, so you're not always going to be on the ice out there when he's on the ice. Is it working right now fully? No, it's not. But it's February 7th. Carolina needs this thing working April 17th when the playoffs start, and on May 7th and June 7th. That's when they need this to work. Fine, you want to point to Marty Necas? Yeah, he had a hot start to the season. You know the last time that Marty Necas scored a true 5-on-5 goal for the Carolina Hurricanes was? True 5-on-5 goal. Not when the other team's net is empty or the Canes pull their own goalie, so it's a 6-on-5. True 5-on-5 goal, November 17th against St. Louis was the last time he scored a true 5-on-5 goal for the Carolina Hurricanes. He was traded more than 2 months later. Okay, yeah. Whatever he does in Colorado in the regular season, fine. What Carolina needs to worry about is ramping things up and peaking in the postseason, not in February going into the Four Nations break. So people out there that are calling for Rod Brindamore to get let go, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. There's only one franchise in the NHL that has won in a postseason series in the last 6 seasons. One. It's the Carolina Hurricanes. The only one. Not even Colorado. Not even Tampa. Pittsburgh. You name it. Only one Carolina Hurricanes to have won a postseason series in the last 6 years. It's okay if they struggle now. That's the point. You figure it out now, so in 2 months, you're full speed ahead. And hopefully in 2 months, they're also not throwing up on each other because they're all sick. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Graham Hill producing. Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. Folks, it's back, and it's better than ever. Who wants to win a custom Caniacs motorcycle? The Carolina Hurricanes, Law Tigers, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, and Shiny Side Paint, they're all teaming up once again to give one lucky fan, a custom Caniacs motorcycle. Simple to enter, folks. Go to caniacsbike.com. I did say that correctly, by the way. A custom Caniacs motorcycle. Custom built right here in Raleigh at Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson. Pictures of the bike, you can find it right there on caniacsbike.com. Custom built motorcycle, custom painted with logos and colors of the Canes, white wall tires. It's a gorgeous bike. It's one of one. You can be yours as long as you go to caniacsbike.com and enter for your chance to win. Deadline to enter April 6th. Bike will be given away on the last home game of the year, but don't wait, folks. Go to caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm. Big basketball game tomorrow in the Triangle. And I'll tell you, if this team loses, their postseason chances are done. I'll tell you in 4 minutes.
Move your sports day forward.
They felt that they couldn't get there with Marty Natchez and Jack Drury. That's what a trade is. It wasn't going to work with those two guys. But perhaps with Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall, it does work. And maybe that window just got a little bit bigger. Time will tell. Time will tell. That is the biggest elephant in the room. This is a new era of Carolina Hurricanes hockey.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's life unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
"This is ludicrous."
But that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander for FanDuel. Super Bowl 59 is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because with FanDuel's $5 million touchdown jackpot, you can win a share of $5 million in bonus bets. All you have to do is place an anytime touchdown scorer bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores the first or last TD, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. It doesn't matter if you're watching your favorite team or rooting against your rivals, FanDuel is giving everyone something to cheer for during Super Bowl 59. So don't miss your chance to score in the biggest game of the year with FanDuel's $5 million touchdown jackpot. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul and get in on the action. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Each $2.5 million prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct picks. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Attention lovebirds. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Diamonds Direct has the gifts to wow your special someone. From dazzling diamonds and trending gold to vibrant gemstones, pearls, even timepieces. With hundreds of stunning styles under $1,000 and an exquisite collection of one-of-a-kind luxury pieces. Make your moment unforgettable. The best selection, value, and service are waiting for you. Make this Valentine's unforgettable with fine jewelry for every budget. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Four o'clock tomorrow. Pitt travels to Chapel Hill to take on UNC men's basketball. Loser leaves town match. I'm declaring it right now, Graham. Loser leaves town. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim Donnelly here on The Drive, here on 99.9 The Fan. Graham Hill producing the show. Latest bracket projections from Joe Lunardi of ESPN when it comes to the NCAA tournament. You're the last team in. The field is 68. The last team in. Wake Forest. So basically number 68 of 68. Wake Forest. The first four teams out. So the ones basically waiting in line when the bouncer says the club is full. The ones standing right there at the rope. Arkansas, Xavier, SMU, Central Florida. Those are the first four out. The next four out. So the people standing a little bit further in line that realize they're not going to get in the club when the people in front of them start complaining. Pitt, Carolina, VCU, USC. So based on this lineup, based on this ranking, on this projection, Pitt is essentially number 73 and UNC is number 74 when it comes to the field. Again, only 68 teams get into the NCAA tournament. So if you lose this game, Pitt or Carolina, lose this game, you can just go ahead and kiss your chances of making the NCAA tournament as an at-large goodbye. Now, win isn't going to guarantee you a spot. That's not what I'm saying. But a win at least allows you to stay in line. That's what's at stake tomorrow in Chapel Hill. Whomever loses this game, you are staring dead straight at having to win the ACC tournament, pulling an NC State from last year, winning the ACC tournament to go to the NCAA tournament. That's the only way you can punch your ticket. Because if you look at it, North Carolina doesn't have a lot of quality chances to gain, especially after this game. Obviously, I just mentioned they got Pitt tomorrow. Clemson, who's right now projected to be an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament, they have them on Monday night. At Clemson, by the way. Maybe when Duke plays them tomorrow, maybe Duke can beat them up a little bit for you when they play tomorrow night. But outside of that Clemson game on Monday as well, you have Duke at home to end the year. That's it. That's the only way you can actually boost your resume as those games. Your other remaining games are Syracuse, home against NC State, home against Virginia, at Florida State, home against Miami, at Virginia Tech. Those games aren't going to give you squat if you're in North Carolina. There aren't going to. Now, you can't lose those. Can't lose one of those games and be like, yeah, we're going to be playing in Milwaukee, right? As an 11 seed. No, you're not. You have to win those games, the ones I just mentioned. Syracuse, State, UVA, FSU, Miami, Virginia Tech. You have to win those games. But you have to also beat Pitt. In my opinion, you have to beat Pitt. If you lose to Clemson, not the worst thing in the world. Losing to Duke, not the worst thing in the world. But the team that you are literally standing right behind when it comes to getting in the NCAA tournament, you can't lose to Pitt. Now, it would help if you beat Clemson and or Duke, because those are only going to boost your resume even further. But UNC needs wins, and they need wins badly. Hubert Davis, there's a ton riding on this game. Can you get your team ready to go? You have said in games recently, like for example, the one that you went to overtime with against Boston College, questions about motivation, especially playing defense. But what more motivation do you need? Like, hey guys, if you guys want to be playing in the NCAA tournament, you have to win. If that doesn't get you amped up as an athlete or a coach, I don't know what you're doing. Not only is UNC, by the way, Graham, not only is North Carolina in danger of missing the NCAA tournament for the second time in 3 years, they might be playing on Tuesday of the ACC tournament. They might be playing on Tuesday of the ACC tournament. I'll explain what that means. If you're playing on Tuesday, it means you finish somewhere between 9th and 15th in the conference. 9th and 15th in the conference. They're currently at 7th. Record of 6-5 in the ACC. Pitt's right behind them at 5-6. So Pitt's sitting at 8. And then there are 4 teams at 5-7. So just one back in the win column. Florida State, Cal, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech. Last time I checked, you have a couple of those teams on your schedule coming up. That is the company that North Carolina is in right now in the ACC. They're lumped in with Pitt, Florida State, Cal, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech. That is the company North Carolina is in right now. And for Pitt, their only quality opponents that they have to gain any sort of traction is North Carolina this Saturday. They play against SMU, which is on the bubble right now on the outside looking in. And Louisville, who's projected to be a tournament team, probably around a 7 seed right now is what they're projected to be. That's it for Pitt. So Pitt has to win this game for themselves too. Because again, they're on the outside looking in. Pitt and North Carolina. They're standing in line, hoping that they can get past the rope, past the bouncer, and in. They're hoping. But you have to win this weekend just to stay in line. Otherwise, you got to win the ACC tournament just to make the NCAA tournament. So yes, loser leaves town match tomorrow in Chapel Hill. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim this afternoon. Folks, Dennis Cox here for ESPN Bet Sportsbook. The best time of year for football is finally here. The big game has arrived, and fans are excited to see who will be hoisting the trophy in New Orleans. You can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Check out their big game giveaway promo for your chance at $1 million in prizes. 25 winners will walk away with $10K in cash, and 7,500 winners will get $100 in bonus bets. No deposit or bet required. Opt in today in the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Coming up, Dean's List. Believe it or not, even though North Carolina might be struggling, UNC Chapel Hill, that doesn't mean other North Carolina schools aren't thriving. We have the Dean's List. Also, one local athlete screwed out of the Hall of Fame again. We'll discuss that and more coming up.
From 32 to 2, Kansas City.
The Chiefs have won again. They have beaten the Buffalo Bills 32-29.
Philadelphia.
20, 15, 10, touchdown, Saquon Barkley.
Join 99.9 The Fan on Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th. Super Bowl Sunday on 99.9 The Fan is presented by First Horizon Bank and Wink Med. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
The Australian Pink Floyd Show. Wish You Were Here 50th Anniversary Tour. Saturday, August 30th. Coca Booth Amphitheater, Cary. Celebrating the 60th anniversary of Pink Floyd's formation in 1965, as well as the 50th anniversary of their album, Wish You Were Here. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. The Australian Pink Floyd Show. Wish You Were Here 50th Anniversary Tour, presented by Live Nation.
Soundstation and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know Soundstation and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, Soundstation and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Soundstation and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
At Bright Smiles and All-Star Implants in Garner, we specialize in transforming smiles in just one day with the latest in same-day implant technology, or all-on-4. Our advanced, fully digital methods deliver predictable results, giving you a beautiful, functional smile fast. We're a non-corporate, privately owned one-stop dental care destination for over 15 years. No referrals, no extra stops. Just convenient, affordable care to save you time and money. Se habla español. Schedule your free consultation now at brightsmilesnc.com.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, Creighton Blackwell here from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Tonight we are at Green Level High School, and we're here to celebrate the newest Scholar Athlete of the Month, Lexi Taylor.
My family is definitely like my biggest support through everything. My sister and my parents both support me through my hardest days and my best days, and they're always there to support me.
Lexi's a phenomenal athlete, comfortable with whatever you ask her to do. She's strong, she's poised, she doesn't get flustered easily.
And she's just like grown up so much as like a captain and a teammate, and she's been a captain now for 2 years, and I really just think she's been like such a great help to our team.
Well, I've been cheering with her since 7th grade, and we're seniors now, so I've kind of like watched Lexi like grow up, I feel like, and she's like done the same with me. So I've like seen her like step into a leadership role, and I feel like she's just always super encouraging and keeps a positive attitude.
It means a lot to me to just be able to be recognized in such like a wide area with so many amazing athletes. So I just feel great to like feel like someone's like seeing all the hard work that I've been putting into my sport and my academics. So I'm very grateful for it.
Congratulations, Lexi.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Don't worry, folks. We're going to be getting into Super Bowl, especially football form. We're going to dive into the Hall of Fame and NFL awards here in about 10 minutes or so. Plus, also, the state of North Carolina, very active in the basketball scene, not just collegiately, but the NBA as well. Travis Hancock, WFNZ, is going to join us here in about 15 minutes to talk a little bit of Charlotte Hornets because they've been in the middle or were involved in a lot of big-time trades in the NBA. New ownership, and also kind of how that compares to the new front office structure that the Carolina Panthers have. Is there a correlation? We tied those together. So we're going to talk with Travis Hancock in about 15 minutes. But until then, Graham, ring the bell. It's time for the Dean's List. So here on the Dean's List, we highlight college athletes and people involved in college athletics, including Campbell men's basketball with a big win over Elon yesterday. They are climbing up the CAA standings. Graham, shout out Colby Dugan. Campbell men's basketball, 23 points yesterday. We talked to their head coach earlier this week, Kevin McGeehan. So shout out Colby Dugan.
You set them up for success. You and Tim did that.
I'm not going to take all the credit. Like he scored 23, I scored none, but I feel like I chipped in. Campbell right now, third in the CAA, just 2 back of Towson. Speaking of another CAA school, UNC Wilmington got a win yesterday over Delaware. They beat Delaware. That's right, Tim's Blue Hens. Tim's not sitting here, so I can mention that Delaware lost.
That's why he's not here.
That's exactly it. Might be, actually. UNC Wilmington got a 77-67 win yesterday over Delaware. Donovan Newby led all scorers with 20 yesterday. Graham, do you know UNC Wilmington is 19-6 this season?
I did, because Paul Ihander.
I'm sorry, 19-5.
Paul Ihander, who I produced for Next Up, he's a big fan of the CAW, as he calls it. The Colonial American Athletic, or the Colonial Athletic.
It's the Coastal Athletic Association now. Coastal Chaos.
What am I talking about?
Still exists.
I just know he's a big Seahawk fan. Paul loves college basketball. He'll stay up till all hours of the night watching it. Big on the dub. Also, how can you hate their colors?
Their colors are pretty fire. Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. UNC Wilmington, awesome job so far this season. 19-5, 9-2 in the CAA. 1 game ahead of Campbell, who's 8-3, and 1 back of Towson, who's 10-1 in the conference. Graham, do you have anyone you want to throw onto the Dean's List? Do you have anyone? If you don't, that's okay.
I'm trying to think.
Well, if you don't, that's fine.
I mean, I don't want to put Duke up there just because Duke. Deservedly so. But
did Duke do anything yesterday?
No, they haven't played since Tuesday. Yeah, exactly.
Then don't worry about them. Last one, Jordan Marsh, UNC Asheville. Led all scorers with 26 yesterday as the Bulldogs beat the Gardner-Webb Running Bulldogs. So the UNC Asheville Bulldogs beat the Gardner-Webb Running Bulldogs 78-70. Jordan Marsh, by the way, Charlotte kid, sophomore this season, averaging 18 a game. Played last year as a freshman at App. Just went, hey, I'm going to go to this other mountain. I'm going to go from Boone to Asheville. So shout out Colby Dugan, Donovan Newby, Jordan Marsh. All people playing for college basketball teams right here in the state of North Carolina. Getting it done last night and a lot of wins. I think that's something that people actually underestimate, maybe underappreciate when it comes to basketball in the state of North Carolina, Graham. Because not only do we obviously have Duke, Carolina State, Wake Forest, the ACC schools that we know what Steph Curry did at Davidson. Shouts to the Wildcats. But Wilmington, no pushover of a program. Asheville actually made it to the NCAA tournament just a few years ago, and as did App. Like, they've both made NCAA tournament appearances in recent season. UNC Greensboro, I know they've been down the last couple years, but they consistently compete in the SoCon. UNC Greensboro has. There's a lot of really great basketball that is played in this state.
North Carolina Central as well.
NC Central, Lavelle Moton. Great call. Great call. There's a lot of really good basketball in this state, folks. And a lot of really good college basketball. It's a lot of fun. And it doesn't have to be an ACC school in order for it to be good quality basketball to watch and to follow. So dive into that. It's a lot of fun. We're a hoop state for a reason, Graham. All right, so that's the Dean's List. By the way, someone with major local ties. Torrey Holt from the Triad, played football right here at NC State. Wasn't elected to the Hall of Fame. Again, been on the ballot 11 times. The finalist once again. Now, they changed the rules, Graham, when it comes to finalists for Hall of Fame voting in the NFL. That if you're a finalist one year and you don't make it, like you don't get elected, you carry over as a finalist to the next year. So Torrey Holt is already going to be a finalist for 2026. But he wasn't elected this year. Only 4 people actually got in. Only 4, which I was kind of surprised because I was assuming that Eli Manning was going to get in. I know a lot of people were pounding the table. Why Eli Manning got snubbed? Because he's won 2 Super Bowls as a quarterback. Yay. Luke Kuechly, first year on the ballot as a finalist, not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I was not expecting him to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But Luke Kuechly will get in. But I'm actually really surprised that Torrey Holt wasn't. Also, Steve Smith not elected in. I'm really actually surprised, especially when I see Sterling Sharp, wide receiver, played for the Green Bay Packers, late 80s into the early 90s, played 7 seasons in the NFL. Just 7. Unfortunately, he suffered a neck injury in his career, just wasn't able to play again, which stinks. But I went and looked at what Sterling Sharp did his first 7 years in the NFL, Graham, compared to what Torrey Holt did his first 7 years in the NFL. Look at the numbers, right? Counting stats, as they like to say. Sterling Sharp, first 7 years, 595 catches, 8,134 yards, 65 touchdowns. Also numbers. Also numbers for first 5 years. Torrey Holt, 619 catches, 9,487 yards, and 54 touchdowns. Okay, so Sterling Sharp has more touchdowns. Got him beat on catches. Got him beat on catches by about 25. And has over 1,300 more yards in those 7 seasons. Torrey Holt had 6 1,000-yard seasons in his first 7, including what he did after those 7 years. He kept playing, compared to just 5 for Sterling Sharp. But Sharp was those 7 years were so great. It's like Terrell Davis, the former Denver Broncos running back. Only really had like 4 really good years. But hey, they were awesome years. Hall of Famer. To me, this is where things get tricky when it comes to Hall of Fame for me, Graham. To me, I think longevity does matter. And the fact that Torrey Holt produced beyond 7 years, again, Sterling Sharp injury, something out of his control. It's what it is. But it does have to matter, in my opinion, when you consistently produce at a high level for 10 plus years like Torrey Holt did. The guy should have already been in the Hall of Fame. Should already be there. Already be there. Anyway, I state my case. To me, Hall of Fame voting, all that kind of stuff, it's a tricky thing. It's a tricky thing. Also, shout out former Carolina Panther Jared Allen making it into the Hall of Fame, Graham. Carolina Panther legend Jared Allen, who played like the tail end of his career for like a season or 2 here in Carolina, gets in.
Still counts.
Still counts.
We'll take the representation.
Yeah. Maybe that's why Kuechly and Steve Smith didn't get in. Like, we've already voted 1 Carolina Panther in. We had 1 last year with Julius Peppers.
We can't water down the Hall of Fame class with all these great Panthers players.
I get the Carolina Panthers got to share the love. Got to share the love. I will say this, actually, one thing on Torrey Holt, kind of wrap up this thought. And Graham, I think Paul Ihander, who the host of Next Up from 9 to 10 right here on 99.9 The Fan, mentioned this earlier today about Eric Allen was elected into the Hall of Fame. Defensive back. Eric Allen, 19 years removed. 19 years it took him to actually get into the Hall of Fame. Torrey Holt's on 11. So there's still some time. Again, I think Torrey Holt will get in. And he should be in. He's a heck of a player. Awesome player. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Graham, did you watch the NFL awards any last night? Did you follow along with it?
I was keeping up with it. Josh Allen won an MVP. Deservingly so, I feel like.
Deservedly so. You know what? People are going to say it was Lamar Jackson. So if you look at the voting, it's about as even as it gets.
No one's ever going to be satisfied.
No. I mean, people will say, well, Lamar Jackson had better stats this year than Josh Allen did. Like, well, if you look back actually at last year, Josh Allen had better numbers than Lamar Jackson did. Lamar Jackson won MVP. It's like, so what's your point? But one award that was given out that actually kind of surprised me a little bit, Graham, that I know a lot of Panthers fans were kind of getting a little discussion with. I know we got Travis Hancock coming up here in a couple minutes. But Patrick Surtain II was elected NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive back, corner. He was taking one pick right after J.C. Horn, who just had his first Pro Bowl season for the Carolina Panthers. Well, that's the big question. It's like, well, wait a second. The Panthers took J.C. Horn. Patrick Surtain II goes right after him. Surtain's been an all-pro. Now he's Defensive Player of the Year after 4 years in the NFL. Our guy can't stay on the field, but when he actually does, he actually finally made a Pro Bowl from the worst defense in the NFL. Denver Broncos, one of the best defenses in the NFL. Where's the disconnect? Where's the problem? I always say this. It's very difficult to compare and contrast players in other situations. Because if you look at J.C. Horn, what he's had to go through as a player with new defensive systems coming in. I understand that Patrick Surtain II also had to play under H.O.F early in his career. Now things are a little bit different with Sean Payton as a head coach and everything. Things are changed. Things are different for Patrick Surtain. And he's also had the fortune and luck of just being healthy. J.C. Horn actually stayed healthy for one season, makes it to a Pro Bowl. Patrick Surtain II has stayed healthy relatively for the most part of his career. I know he missed like a couple games with a concussion earlier this season, but he's been healthy this year. And he's a darn good player. And he's one of the highest paid cornerbacks in the league. And the Carolina Panthers are going to have a major question going forward in the offseason about what do you sign J.C. Horn to in terms of a contract extension. Because right now, Patrick Surtain signed a 4-year contract extension worth $96 million. It's $24 million a year. And he's the NFL Defensive Player of the Year. J.C. Horn can't command that kind of money simply based off two things. One, health. Two, production. Surtain's been doing it. J.C. Horn, we know, is capable of doing it. But the question is, what does Dan Morgan do in terms of a contract with J.C. Horn this offseason? We'll probably dive in more into that next week. But speaking of Dan Morgan, Travis Hancock, WFNZ, I asked him about, we had the conversation earlier today, we're going to play it here for you. We asked about Dan Morgan, H.O.F, the defensive coordinator, but also the Charlotte Hornets were a major part of the NBA trade deadline, including Mark Williams getting traded, former Duke guy, getting traded from the Hornets to the LA Lakers. Are things changing in Charlotte? Here's that conversation with Travis. Big thanks to Travis Hancock joining us here in the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Mentioned Frankie Louvu, second-team All-Pro this year. Second-team All-Pro, Frankie Louvu. Missed that guy. By the way, if you want more Carolina Panthers conversations, make sure you go to our 99.9 The Fan YouTube page. Go there, Panthers Playbook. Myself and Chris Lee, WREL Sports. He and I co-host Panthers Playbook together. We're talking some different off-season stuff, including our episode last week was about the NFL draft coming up. We spoke with Jordan Reed of ESPN, and he actually has projected Jalen Walker, linebacker from Georgia. His comp in the NFL for Jalen Walker is Frankie Louvu. Plays very similar. Versatile piece that you can move around, can play off ball, maybe come up on the edge as well. A guy that's just a game changer and a game wrecker. Miss Frankie Louvu. This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Graham Hill sitting in this afternoon producing. So Graham's where I'm normally sit. I'm sitting where Tim is. Tim's expecting a kid. That's why he's not here. Well, his wife is due.
Baby watch 2025.
Exactly. Baby watch 2025 for Tim. I have not heard anything. I haven't. Who knows what's going on? But I do know what's going on this weekend, Graham. Super Bowl 59. Actually, I'm going to open up the phone lines for people. 919-860-5FAN. 919-860-5326. Especially if you're a Chiefs fan or you're an Eagles fan. You want to tout why your team is winning on Sunday? Call now. 919-860-5326. Football at 4 coming up.
The Adam Gold Show.
I know the Hurricanes got Mikko Rantanen, an amazing player, Taylor Hall, who looks like he's really going to help him out. But before we put Carolina in the Stanley Cup favorite category, we need to know that Sebastian Aho is going to be the Sebastian Aho from last year and the year before, and that Andrei Svechnikov is going to do his thing, and we need to know that the goaltending is going to hold up. If those things happen, absolutely the Hurricanes are favored.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
A new game has landed in North Carolina. Officials are calling this new species of game Cash Pop. So easy to play, it's out of this world. Reports confirm you just pick and match one number to win up to $2,500. With 5 drawings every day, cash landings have been sighted across the state. So be on the lookout for Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. The wins are out there. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds chart at nclottery.com for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
When it comes to the biggest games of all time, the original Abbey Road Tavern and Grill is the road to a good time. This year for the big game, come get your appetizers, buy one, get one half off. Take out or dine in. Dine in and also score great drink specials like $5 Bloody Marys and mimosas, $3.50 Coors Banquet and Yingling Fight Bottles, $9 Yingling Personal Pitchers, and all Crown Royal flavors are just $6. It's the original Abbey Road Tavern and Grill for the big game in Cary on West Chatham Street and Apex on Center Street. AbbeyRoadNC.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Hey guys, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and Cupid's arrow is pointing straight to Bailey's. We're here to help and make it easy for you to find the perfect gift for the one you love. Bailey's has something for everyone and every budget. We have a huge selection of jewelry and gifts for under $500, from David Yurman, Apolita, Mikimoto, Lagos, and more. And if you're looking for something extra special, we also have an amazing selection of diamond jewelry. Shop in-store or online at baileybox.com. Give her a gift that's better than chocolate or roses with the easiest and can't-miss way to make her Valentine's Day extra special with a little black and white striped box from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Located in Raleigh's Village District and Crabtree Valley Mall, also in Cary's Fenton, Rocky Mount, and Greenville. Just a little reminder from me, Marcy Bailey. Every woman wants a Bailey box.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals. This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Gorgeous afternoon out there. Lots of sunshine, a high temperature of 70 degrees. But our pattern changes tonight. We cloud up. We'll see cooler temperatures, a low of 44. An isolated shower tonight or anytime tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be chilly with low to mid-50s under cloudy skies. But the opposite for Super Bowl Sunday, lots of sunshine with highs in the mid-70s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 444 points at 44,303.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim this afternoon. Before we start talking about Sunday, Grant, we need to actually get one grand prize finalist. So this whole week with Buffalo Brothers, we qualified between The Drive and Next Up. Next up, you can hear with Paul Einhander 9 to 10 right here on 99.9 The Fan. We were qualifying people with $25 gift cards to Buffalo Brothers, and each of the 8 people that we qualified were qualified for a chance to win a VIP table for 6 at Buffalo Brothers on Lake Boone Trail for the big game this Sunday and a $300 gift card. And we actually called our winner. We have Rocky. Rocky, congratulations. You're a winner, sir. You are going.
Yes, sir.
You're going to Buffalo Brothers this Sunday, yourself and 5 other people with a $300 gift card as well. Congratulations, Rocky. Let me know.
Dennis, I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Well, Rocky, let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Buffalo Brothers known for the wings. Give me your favorite wing type. Give me the sauce. Do you want like a dry rub? Is there a sauce? Is there a heat?
I might get a dry rub or a honey barbecue. One of those. One of those. Those are probably my favorites. Yep.
Dry rub wings. Underrated.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've been going to that a lot lately when I've been grilling my own. I love that the best.
I'm also a big garlic Parmesan fan. Also, drumsticks or flats when it comes to wings?
I'm a drumstick person.
Okay, well, if you and I have wings together, that's great because I'm a flats kind of guy. So you can have the drumsticks, I'll have the flats.
All right, yeah, you pick through, get the flats, I'll have the drumsticks.
Easy enough. Rocky, congratulations. I think you need to stay on the line. Graham might need to get some more information from you. Congratulations, Rocky. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
so much.
Get a VIP table for 6 this Sunday to Buffalo Brothers. You also have a $300 gift card coming your way as well. That's awesome. I'm actually curious. In our YouTube live chat, you can go there or you can post on X at the Fan Rookie. I want to know, what's your Super Bowl spread going to be like? And I also want to know, Chiefs fans, Eagles fans, this Sunday, let me know. Phone lines are open. 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326. Why is your team winning? Phone lines are open. To me, This game is as evenly matched as I can think of regarding talent on both sides. Philadelphia, you got studs on offense everywhere. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert. Studs. All great. Defensively, they got dudes everywhere. Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean, Darius Slay. Like, they've got guys all over the place. And Philly has experienced this already, being in a Super Bowl. At least the better part of their core guys are. Nick Sirianni, their head coach, Hurts, Brown, Devontae Smith, so many of the guys that I just mentioned have been through this before. Going to a Super Bowl, how to handle the week leading up to it, how to handle the media, how to just handle game day and the emotions that go with it. Now, I understand that there are guys that weren't on the team in 2022 that maybe didn't experience it. But it's a good thing that you are around people who did. And it's no different than with Kansas City. They have rookies and new guys on their team. Like, for example, Xavier Worthy. He's experiencing this for the first time. But when you have guys around you who have been through it, they can help coach you through it. But one of those guys playing in his first Super Bowl, Saquon Barkley. Is there an advantage? He's never actually played the Chiefs. Is there an advantage in that? Saquon Barkley actually did talk about, is there an advantage for him in not having played the Chiefs yet?
The game is won up front, whether it's 2024 or 1962. That's how football is played. So it does help that they never went against me either. But the challenge is, man, as you watch film, you can see why they're so good. You can see why they're two-time defending champs. And Spags, you never know with him. He brings all type of defenses, all type of blitzes. So definitely got to lock in.
It's going to be a fun thing to watch. It's going to be an absolutely fun game to watch. As I mentioned, phone lines are open, 919-860-5326. And Joe, down in Holly Springs, Chiefs fan, tell me, Joe, why your Chiefs are going to get a three-peat this weekend. Tell me.
We're going to get a three-peat because coaching matters.
Okay.
I expect Spagnuolo and Andy Reid, Big Red, to have some amazing calls. They seem to always scheme up at the right time, right place, right time.
All right, so I'm going to go Andy Reid on this side for you here, Joe, and I'm going to ask you this question. We always see Andy Reid come with some weird play that goes to a guy that we never heard of. Like, wait a second. Who's this fourth tight end that just scored a 60-yard touchdown? Is there a guy on offense that might be that we're under the radar, should expect to do something big that may be on your mind?
I think Hollywood Brown has a big game.
Okay.
They were in the off season during training camp. They were installing a lot of things to premiere him as the number one guy or the number two guy behind Rashee Rice, and he didn't really get that opportunity because he was hurt. But as he came back, the more he played, the more the offense opened up, and I expect them to pull out all the plays for the Super Bowl.
Okay, I like that. Hollywood Brown had the shoulder injury during the preseason. Missed a chunk of time this year. Joe, thank you for the call. I really appreciate it. I like the pull on that. Hollywood Brown. You know, this is something we actually haven't seen this year, either from Hollywood Brown or maybe we even haven't seen with Xavier Worthy. I was actually talking to Joel Bryant from High School OT, who's a big-time Eagles fan. He's actually worried about, you know what, they haven't really taken that big, deep shot with Xavier Worthy and all of his speed yet this season, Graham. He's like, I'm afraid that all of a sudden they're going to unleash that.
Yeah, you only see Xavier Worthy really touch the ball when it's sent kind of like slot plays or jet sweeps, stuff like that.
Hey, just give him the ball. Hey, you run fast.
Exactly. Do what you're good at.
Run fast. That's literally the play. All right, Xavier, we're going to give you the ball. You're going to run to the left. Run fast. That's the play. But I like that. The Hollywood Brown, I like that. By the way, 919-860-5326. Tell me who you think your team is.
That was a nice pull.
It's a great call. It's a great call. Someone that's invested. I like this. But these teams, by the way, defensively, couldn't be more different. And it goes also to show you that there's more than one way to be successful. Now, covering the Carolina Panthers this year, the Panthers played both the Eagles and they played the Chiefs. I got to see going down to when the Chiefs played at Bank of America Stadium in Carolina. I was fortunate enough to be at that game covering it. And seeing the Chiefs in person in Charlotte, they send a lot of pressure. Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator that was just mentioned, loves to blitz. Now, he gets kind of weird with it at times. And one thing that's really impressive about Kansas City's defense is how disciplined they are pre-snap. Pre-snap, they don't tip their hand. A lot of people will refer back to that AFC Championship game when they played the Buffalo Bills, that fourth down stop that the Chiefs got, and the Steve Spagnuolo, like, wait, he sent a corner blitz, hadn't done that all game. Well, if you notice before the snap that the corners lined up outside the hash marks, and the stuff pre-snap that Josh Allen and the Bills do normally to kind of get a read on what the defense is doing, they don't tip their hand. They're super disciplined before the snap of the ball. That is huge. That is huge. Heck, Spagnuolo might send like 2 safeties on a blitz at some random time. You're like, wait a second, where did these guys come from? That's what he does. Eagles are like kind of the opposite. With Vic Fangio, they get a ton of pressure with their front four because the front four is loaded. It's a bunch of Georgia guys. And by Georgia guys, I mean Bulldogs. Including guys like Jalen Carter, just straight wreck things up front. But they can mostly generate pressure with their front four and cover on the back end. And they use a lot of zone coverage doing it. Now, they might do some man coverage stuff just to kind of throw them off, but they do a lot of zone. Travis Kelce, the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, spoke about why the Eagles are the best defense they faced this season.
This is going to be the best defense we play all year. They play so well together. Their secondary, you can tell they're all on the same page. They all understand their rules, a lot of zone coverage, but when it comes down to playing man, they're very physical. So it's going to be our biggest challenge yet. Their D-line is one of the best in the league. It's going to be a fun challenge, man. I love going up against the best. It's why I play the game, and sure enough, we got 2 Goliaths going at it at the Super Bowl, man.
I'm wondering if Cooper DeJean, the young rookie defensive back out of Iowa for Philadelphia, if they ever go man-to-man, if he's going to cover Travis Kelce. Because one thing with Cooper DeJean being in there, having watched them, again, play against Carolina, he could stay on the field basically as a nickel, and if you need to, basically be like a weak side linebacker because he's that physical. He's that tough. He's that smart. And he can cover. He really can. Again, 2 defenses that are very opposite. But again, it shows you that you could do it more ways than one. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for Sunday. It's going to be a fun game. The game that we saw 2 years ago was awesome. Absolutely awesome. It's the Drive with Tim Donnelly. Oh, yes, it is the Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99 The Fan. I almost said the Adam Gold Show because I fill in for Adam sometimes, which you can listen to from noon to 3. Anyway, the Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim this afternoon. Dennis Cox here for ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Folks, the best time of football, best time of year for football, it's finally here. The big game has arrived, and fans are excited to see who will be hoisting the trophy in New Orleans. You can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Check out their big game giveaway promo for your chance at $1 million in prizes. 25 winners will walk away with $10K in cash, and 7,500 winners will get $100 in bonus bets. No deposit or bet required. Opt in today in the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Here on the Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. We have a ladder challenge. I actually won yesterday. I know Tim's bet. He did not win. Not a good way to start off going into paternity leave. But Graham, you and I are going to do a special Big Game Sunday ladder challenge. We're going to have that coming up.
The Pack Therapy Podcast is in session thanks to First Horizon Bank. Tim Donnelly here, host of The Drive, alongside Wolfpack legend Casey Morsell.
Every episode is your chance to score inside information on the Pack.
We'll set you up for Wolfpack games all season long.
And we break down the ACC competition, what to watch for as we roll towards the tournament madness.
Plus special guests to keep Wolfpack hope alive.
Follow and subscribe to Pack Therapy wherever you discover your favorite podcast or watch on YouTube.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo, Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business. Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it, and will beat any print quote. Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs. No problem. I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens. Totally. I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing. I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hey, Tim Donnelly here with a game day tip from WakeMed Heart and Vascular. Getting at least 7 hours of sleep a night helps maintain a healthy heart. Regular rest impacts your blood pressure levels, weight, and risk for diabetes. Plus, if you wake yourself up from snoring by choking or gasping, get checked for sleep apnea, which is also bad for your heart. So hit the sack and rest assured you're doing your heart a ton of good. Learn more about caring for your heart at wakemed.org.
So normally at this time we do a ladder challenge. By the way, the drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim. So in the ladder challenge, Tim and I usually make a bet, make a pick that has extremely high odds of winning, somewhere between -500 and -1,000. And the way the ladder challenge works is that we start at the beginning of the month, $10. And then if you win, you make your pick. And if you win, you take the winnings and plus the stake, you roll it all over into the next bet. So it's all cumulative. So, Graham, I made my bet yesterday. I had the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the New Jersey Devils. I just needed over 3 goals scored. Over 3.5 is what I needed. And they combined for a total of 4 goals. Vegas won 3-1. So I hit. So I actually had, going into yesterday, I had $16.80. That rolled over into $19.70. Tim, by the way, had the Carolina Hurricanes scoring over 1.5 goals. They lost 2-1 yesterday.
That's why you don't bet on a team that you care about.
Well, there's that. So anyway, Tim now goes back down to $10. But Tim being out because he is expecting a child, he and his wife, their second kid, we're going to have to reset the ladder challenge until he comes back. So Graham and you and I, we're going to do something a little particular, okay? Something special. We're making picks for the big game on Sunday. So Graham, you're going to make 2 picks. I'm going to make 2 picks. Doesn't matter what the odds are. You put $10 on each pick. Okay? If you were to put $10 on each pick, whomever has the most money wins. Okay? Then we're just going to do another day on Monday and so on and so forth. We're going to make 2 picks. Whomever comes out with the most money is going to win it. All right? Graham, you have your 2 selections?
Yep.
All right, give me your 2 picks. Again, doesn't matter what the odds are. You can go spreads, over, unders, a prop pick, whatever you want to do. Hit me.
My first pick, and I'm just focusing on the 2 players out there who will make the biggest difference for either team, between the Eagles and the Chiefs.
Okay.
So first for the Eagles, running back Saquon Barkley. Let's go anytime first quarter touchdown score, plus 410.
Anytime first quarter touchdown score.
Anytime first quarter.
Plus 410.
He's done it in the past 2 games. I mean, think about it. Against the Commanders, he had 4 touchdowns just in the first half?
Yeah, something stupid like that.
And he's going to be, I mean, look, they've been handing him the ball all season. Once they were able to turn things around, I think they kind of just realized, hey, we have one of the best running backs in the league. Why don't we just hand the ball off to him? So I see him getting the offense going for this Eagles team. I see him being the workhorse. So let's get it going early in the first quarter. Saquon Barkley, anytime first quarter touchdown score.
Okay. All right. So you're putting the pressure on it, plus 410. All right, Graham, I'm actually going to go, I might go a little safer here on my first one. Give me Patrick Mahomes to throw for 2+ touchdowns. 2+ touchdowns, that is a minus 180. Okay, so the $10 on that would actually turn into $15.50. Okay, so it's a minus 180. So I'm going to make that as my first bet. But you're putting the pressure on me, Graham. What's your second choice?
We're really putting the pressure on Patrick Mahomes because my second bet is Patrick Mahomes over 250 passing yards, minus 110.
Okay. Wow, you're going big here.
It's the biggest game of the year. Why not?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right on this one. It is a big one. That's why I'm going to go with Graham. I'm going big one here. Give me anytime touchdown score to be Juju Smith-Schuster. Anytime touchdown scorer, Juju Smith-Schuster, plus 500. So that $1 will turn into, that $10 will turn into $60.
I don't hate that at all. Joe, our Chiefs fan that just called in during the last segment, when he brought out that great stat about Hollywood Brown, I was thinking, wow, he's really going not under the radar, but he's really picking from players you really think of, and you forget that the Chiefs do have Juju Smith-Schuster.
And ironically, or unironically, has been in the Super Bowl before.
And they've used him a lot this year in their offense.
At different times. I know he dealt with an injury and stuff for a little bit of while, but it seems like the last few games, it's like, oh yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster, that really good possession receiver. Which, here's something I think this is something that really good teams do, and we've seen the Chiefs do this a lot, is that there are inherently players who are more valuable to one team and just simply play better for one team than another.
Yep.
For example, Juju Smith-Schuster was cut from the New England Patriots during training camp. The New England Patriots said, yeah, our receivers stink. We're going to cut that one. And it was Juju Smith-Schuster. They let him go. Kansas City's like, hey, we know what he can do with us. We see the value of what he can do in our system because we've seen it work before. Let's get that guy.
Yeah, we just got a great draft pick in Xavier Worthy, but why not? Patrick Mahomes needs so many guys at 32.
Well, it's also a byproduct of what happens. Hollywood Brown got hurt in the preseason, hurts his shoulder. Hey, we can bring in someone that we actually know. McCole Hardman, wide receiver, was with the Kansas City Chiefs, wins the Super Bowl, goes to another team, doesn't do anything. They bring him back because the other team wasn't doing anything. I'm trying to remember what was maybe the Jets. Wasn't doing anything. Hey, let's bring him back. Before you know, he's scoring touchdowns in the Super Bowl. It's amazing how players sometimes just inherently for one team are just more valuable for them than anyone else. And sometimes it's a byproduct of just simply knowing who that guy is. Like Juju Smith-Schuster goes to another team. Like if he goes to the Carolina Panthers or some other team, he doesn't produce. We saw him early in his career when he was playing opposite of Antonio Brown, putting up some pretty awesome numbers with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
And he bounced around to a few different teams and everything, and he's had an all right career. He's been on a few teams. He's won a Super Bowl. He's had a pretty all right career. But yeah, give me Juju Smith-Schuster plus 500. Graham, who's your pick? We can go ahead and lower the ladder challenge sound here, but who's your pick for Sunday?
I mean, when I was growing up, it was you don't bet against Tom Brady. Now it feels like you don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to have to take the Kansas City Chiefs. Just because everybody talks about how do they keep winning these close games. Well, it's because they keep finding unique ways to win. I mean, you look at their third down conversions, it's one of the best in the leagues. Like stats like that matter, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
They have the coaching staff, to Joe's point, who called earlier. Like Andy Reid, when you talk about when you saw them play the Carolina Panthers, I was also at that game. I was sitting right beside the Kansas City Chiefs tunnel that they come out of. And the one thing that impressed me when I was watching them warm up is every little detail that they do during warm-ups is down to a T. The running backs came out together. The wide receivers came out together. The defensive backs, stuff like that. Not to disparage the Carolina Panthers, but they just kind of came out, one by one as they kind of chose to, or as they please. Kansas City, no, like they were very set in detail, and just stuff like that shows on the field, and it's shown throughout the season. So it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. It's hard to bet against Travis Kelce. Do I want to do it? No. In my mind, I just feel like it's the safe pick. So give me Kansas City.
It's hard to pick against them. I want to pick against them. I do. It's weird for me saying this, but like I kind of want the Eagles to win. Is that weird to say? I
think a lot of people do.
I think this is something that sometimes gets brushed under the rug, for lack of a better term. Sometimes when it comes to sports, you need someone to root against just as much as you need someone to root for.
Yeah.
For example, we see it here locally. Duke basketball. Go anywhere. Yeah, there's a ton of Duke fans, but man, people love hating them. People love to hate them. The Dallas Cowboys, people love rooting against them.
Every Stone Cold Steve Austin needs a Vince McMahon.
Sure, exactly. For all our wrestling fans out there. What makes a great story, what makes things entertaining, you need someone to root against. You need the bad guy. The bad guy is what makes the story. Star Wars, it's Darth Vader. And it's the Emperor. The Dark Knight, it's the Joker. The Joker is what makes the story. And the question is, can Kansas City, as the bad guy, be taken down? We've seen them be successful so much. I mean, how many straight AFC championship games have they gone to? How many Super Bowls have they played in recent years? How many have they won? Some people are like, yeah, I'm kind of tired of it. Unless you're a Chiefs fan. Doug Miller, who works on Mix 101.5, Chiefs fan, he says, hey, plenty of my adult life, Chiefs stunk. I'm just enjoying this as long as I can.
And it's easy to forget that just a few years ago, like Kansas City was the team that America essentially was rooting for when Tom Brady was still playing for the New England Patriots. You had to go through the Patriots in the AFC Championship game in order to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's amazing how you go from the team chasing to get to the mountaintop to the team trying to stand at the mountaintop and hold everyone off, try to fend everyone off. And eventually, this is where things just naturally turn to the course of just people's minds. Wow, we followed you, got chased to the mountaintop, the chase to the mountaintop. Wow, you made it to the mountaintop. Wow, you did it again. Awesome. All right, you've been standing too long up there, man.
Right.
Let someone else stand up there. No. I'm take this and you go away. And this is also sometimes where kind of leads into the whole like, well, you've gotten to the mountaintop already all these times, and then the whole narrative around referee calls and some of the flopping stuff and things along those lines, blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, wait a second. You've won all these championships. Why are you flopping? You don't need that. You've already done it. You don't need to flop all that. So that, in people's minds, whether it's true or not, builds up further steam. And this is, again, whereas us as humans, we sometimes root against something more than we root for something. Hey, you know what? I don't want that to happen. Therefore, I'm going to root against it. We're seeing it a lot this Sunday. Yeah, there's a ton of Chiefs fans out there, obviously. And that number has grown, especially with young kids. Like, oh, Pat Mahomes is so great. He's fun, and he's winning. He's good. He's all over the place. But eventually, people get sick and tired of, hey, you know what? Why is it every time there's a primetime football game, I got to see the damn Chiefs again?
And they also get sick and tired of the storylines off the field.
Yes.
The pop culture stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Brittany Mahomes maybe being a little too passionate sometimes to opposing teams' fan bases. Jax Mahomes doing his TikTok dances on the sidelines after the Super Bowl. And then, of course, Taylor Swift, the main pop culture icon.
All of it.
That's all part of it.
All ties in part of it. Again, we see them in prime time all the time, whether it's a Sunday night football, Thursday night, Monday night, or even if you get the national window at 4:25 on CBS. You get that too. Same thing with, again, the Dallas Cowboys. You see them all the time, right? Gosh, I feel like it's 4:25 every Sunday. Oh, look, there's the Dallas Cowboys on once again. Got to watch this team. You turn on sports radio on ESPN or whatever, there's a Cowboys conversation going on.
Every Thanksgiving.
Yeah, every Thanksgiving you got to see them. But it's like you hear about them so much. It's like, I'm kind of tired of it. You just shove down your throat. You get beaten over the head with it. And eventually people get tired of it, and I think this is what a lot of people are when it comes to Sunday. Yeah, I'm tired of the Chiefs. I might not like the Eagles, but I'm tired of them. And I'll be honest, part of that's me. I ain't afraid to admit it. Part of that is me. 'Cause I'm tired of it too. But the story is always in the chase. That's where the money is. The story's in the chase. Graham, you're a wrestling fan just like me.
Yep.
What was the big story going into WrestleMania last year?
Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns.
Can Cody Rhodes complete the hero's journey and finally reach the mountaintop? Could he, quote, finish the story? The money is in the chase, and that's what people are seeing. Oh, a couple years ago, Eagles got close. They got close. They really did. It was a heck of a game 2 years ago. 35-28. That game was awesome. Whether you like, hate, love, hate, or whatever, indifferent about both teams, that game was great. And then we saw the Eagles struggle last year, retooled their coordinators and all that stuff. All right, can they get back to the mountaintop? The story's in the chase. Can they finally take down Big Bad, which is eventually what the Chiefs have become? And that's okay. It's okay to be Big Bad. Sports are just like storylines that you see on television, folks. You eventually need someone to chase down. Gosh, in the NBA, who do people always hate on? LeBron. He's got a ton of fans, but gosh, when he joined up with Wade and Bosh in Miami, man, they turned heel. They were the villains. They were the villains. Before they even played a game together, they were the villains. You need that just as much as you need a team to root for. That's why rivalries exist. Speaking of rivalries, let's go right here local, like NC State, Carolina, Duke, rivalries. You hate them just as much as you love your team. Speaking of NC State, by the way, NC State in action this weekend. I kind of want to go into, by the way, they're playing at Stanford tomorrow, 7 o'clock tip-off. You can listen to that game over on Mix 101.5. We've talked a lot, Graham, about the late game struggles for NC State basketball. A lot, right? Look at the last 7 games for them. All losses. All relatively close losses for the most part. Starting with a close loss, 1-possession loss against North Carolina at home. Since then, they've lost to Virginia Tech. They've lost at home to Cal. They've lost to SMU. They've lost to Duke. They lost to Clemson. They lost on the road at Cal. But even before that, you beat Notre Dame in a 1-possession game. You lost close to Wake Forest, and you lost close to UVA. They've lost 9 of 10. So, Graham, I went and looked at each of the last 10 games for NC State basketball. Looked at each of the last 10 games. And I went specifically to the last 4 minutes of the game for each of those 10 games. And the reason why I did that, Graham, was because I wanted to make sure that the numbers matched what my eyes were seeing in terms of late game struggles. On average, in the last 4 minutes of games, for the last 10 games, again, they've lost 9 out of 10. In the last 4 minutes, they averaged 5.8 points in the last 4 minutes of games. Now, average that scoring pace out over 40 minutes, it's 58 points. Not good. Not good at all. If you actually cut it down to just the last 7 games, these 7 straight losses, it's less than that. It's 5.4. You also look at points allowed. Go to the last 7 games in the last 4 minutes of the last 7 games. Points allowed. Averaging about 8 points allowed in the last 4 minutes of games during this 7-game losing streak. And you wonder why you're losing all these close games. You wonder why. So you look at, again, we'll just go to the 7-game losing streak. The last 4 minutes, they're scoring at an average rate of just over 5 points, while giving up 8. Extrapolate that scoring rate over the course of a game, you're basically losing like 80 to 55 or 80 to 54. That's essentially what it is. That's the rate of scoring during that 4-minute stretch. The key 4 minutes, because it's late in games, and you wonder again why they've struggled so much. Against Virginia Tech, let's go to North Carolina. Against North Carolina, they actually scored 8 points in the last 4 minutes against North Carolina. Against Virginia Tech, only 4 points scored in that game. Allowed 12 in the last 4 minutes. Against Cal, the first time they played, only scored 7 points in the last few minutes of that game. Against SMU, they only scored 5 points, gave up 7. Against Duke, scored 2 points, gave up 9. Against Clemson, scored 7, gave up 9. Against Cal, their last loss a couple nights ago, they only scored 5, gave up 10. That's the last 4 minutes of the game. That is where this team is right now. Struggling late in games. And it's not, again, just we were missing this one player, or this one guy was sick, this one guy was hurt, and it's an anomaly and it's a one-time thing. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. When you lose 9 to 10 and you're outscored consistently in the last 4 minutes of games, you can't even find the bottom of the net. Against Virginia Tech, you had a lead. You scored 4 minutes. In the last 4 minutes, you scored 4 points, and you allowed 12. Even against Duke, you played Duke really well. You did. But the last 4 minutes of that game, you scored 2 points. Duke scored 9. Now, be honest, you're outmatched against Duke. It's what it is. Now, you play Stanford tomorrow. I don't know how you're going to cover Max Raynaud. I don't know how you're going to do it. When I was at the game in Carolina when Stanford played against UNC. Stanford at times actually went with a 1-3-1 zone with Max Raynaud, their big 7'2" guy, standing in the middle of that 1-3-1. Just arms and limbs everywhere, trying to take away skip passes and such. Forced UNC to be a perimeter team, shoot from the outside. Do not be shocked tomorrow if you see that from Stanford. Do not be surprised at all. Do not be surprised. Because NC State struggles to shoot from the outside. Graham, you've been to a few games this season. You've seen them all play.
Yep.
They struggle shooting from the outside. Do not be shocked if we see Stanford go 1-3-1 zone and force them just to shoot from the outside.
They also just struggle to just match runs. Feels like a recurring thing that you see, and kind of just the time to your point. I didn't watch the game against Cal the other night because I was getting over the flu. But Paul and I played a game on Next Up where I tried to predict exactly what happened and almost got it right verbatim. I said probably in the last 5 or so minutes, they went on a scoring drought and finished maybe 1 of 13 from the field.
Mm-hmm.
Finished 1 of 11. Didn't score for the last 4 minutes. And that's just been part of their kryptonite. It's just falling apart late and not being able to throw the ball into the ocean if they're standing on a pier.
It's a struggle for them. Which, by the way, again, we've said it before. I'll say it again. They are in danger of missing the ACC tournament, not the NCAA tournament. The ACC tournament. ACC has 18 teams in men's and women's basketball. They have 18 schools now with the additions of Cal, Stanford and SMU. ACC is still only going to take the top 15 teams. NC State's on the outside looking in. They are 2 games back of that 15 spot, and there are a bunch of teams sitting there with 4 wins. And NC State has only 2. So NC State at minimum, needs to win 3 more games this season in conference play and hope that one of the teams that has 4 losses loses out just to even get in. And that's also the hope that you play Boston College. You have to play them. You have to win that game because you have the same record as them in the conference. The love, all the good graces from the Final Four run last year, it's gone. It's gone. We'll talk about this more on Monday next week, but NC State is a program, especially coming off the Final Four run, and you being a power conference school, an ACC school that has history, we should be looking at Joe Lunardi of ESPN, his bracketology, his projections. We should be at minimum seeing NC State. This is what this program expectations should be. At minimum, be like, hey, NC State right now, we're projecting them to be a 9 seed in the West. They'll play in Milwaukee in the first round. That's what we should be seeing out of that program. But we're not. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Folks, I need you to do me a favor. Especially look on a day like today where it's sunny and gorgeous. Just imagine cruising around town on a custom motorcycle that you won. Go to caniacsbike.com for your chance to win a custom Caniacs motorcycle because the Law Tigers, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, and your Carolina Hurricanes, they're teaming up once again to give one lucky fan a custom Caniacs motorcycle. Simple to win, folks. Go to caniacsbike.com. That's where you enter to win. The drawing is going to take place. It's going to be given away on the last home game of the year, right there on the ice. But you got to enter to win, though. Go to caniacsbike.com. Again, imagine a beautiful day like this. It's 71 degrees out, 72, gorgeous day. I wish my motorcycle wasn't in storage because I'd be out riding it. I would have ridden it in today. But on gorgeous days like this, imagine riding a custom-built motorcycle built right here from Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, custom painted by Shiny Side Paint right here in Raleigh. And it's truly one of one. Your favorite team, Canes decals, colors, the whole bit, white wall tires. Absolutely gorgeous bike. Go to caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Coming up, we have real bowl predictions, including Graham. I'm going to give a bowl prediction about who's going to lead UNC in scoring this weekend. It might surprise you. Bowl predictions coming up.
Listen for the Did He Just Do That?
Johnson trying to step back for a 3. Bring it up. Left side. Boy, that was cold-blooded.
The deep looks from downtown.
Damas from the right block. Gives to Hawkins. Straight on. Triple. Good. They left it open, and he makes him pay.
The Get That Out of Here's.
Bonner to the basket. Rejected by Renew, who saw that one coming.
Your exclusive home for the Final Four. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time.
Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always Bo time.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everybody, Paul Eihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. It's Super Bowl 59 week, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel makes it easy to place your bets and feel the thrill of every moment. Here's some of the fun bets in the app right now. Saquon Barkley to record 25-plus rushing yards each quarter. Either quarterback to catch a pass. Jalen Hurts to score an octopus. That's a touchdown and a 2-point conversion on the same drive. Or a big man touchdown. Any offensive lineman to hit pay dirt. Just place a $5 bet, and if you win, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Download your app today or head to FanDuel.com/Paul and bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Attention lovebirds. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Diamonds Direct has the gifts to wow your special someone. From dazzling diamonds and trending gold to vibrant gemstones, pearls, even timepieces. With hundreds of stunning styles under $1,000 and an exquisite collection of one-of-a-kind luxury pieces. Make your moment unforgettable. The best selection, value, and service are waiting for you. Make this Valentine's unforgettable with fine jewelry for every budget. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
By the way, if you're looking for sports action this weekend, make sure you just keep it locked in here on 99.9 The Fan. We got it all covered here for you in terms of play-by-play, including the Carolina Hurricanes are in action tomorrow. That is a 1 o'clock puck drop. They play the Utah Hockey Club. Again, 1 o'clock game. If you're looking for a little afternoon tailgate, I'm not going to lie, sounds like a pretty fun time, to be honest. Little afternoon tailgate action. So that's going to be 12:30 Storm Watch with Adam Gold, 1 o'clock puck drop. That's going to be tomorrow. Also, actually here on The Fan tonight, if you're a college basketball fan, St. John's at UConn, men's basketball. You can actually listen to that. That's at 8 o'clock right here on The Fan. We'll also have some local games as well. Duke men's basketball. They're on the road tomorrow at Clemson. That's a 5:30 pregame. That's over on Buzz Sports Radio. Also, 7 o'clock tomorrow night is the tip-off time for NC State basketball. They're on the road at Stanford. That's over on Mix 101.5. But then on Sunday, pregame coverage for Super Bowl 59 starts right here at 2 o'clock here on 99.9 The Fan. Westwood 1 on the call. 6:30 kickoff. 6:30 kickoff. Graham, I wish the game kicked off sooner.
Well, you have pregame coverage that starts as early as 1 o'clock on The Fan.
It's 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock is as
2.
early as pregame coverage starts. I mean, they're just going to probably just recap the entire NFL season to lead you up to the actual kickoff of the Super Bowl itself.
Highlights from every game.
Exactly.
Highlights from every game.
That's what's going to happen.
Well, we might actually have some Super Bowl scenarios come up here in Real Bold Predictions. All right, so here on Real Bold Predictions, here on the Drive with Tim Donnelly. By the way, Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim today. And really for the next couple weeks, baby number 2, baby watch. Baby watch for Tim and his wife. So here on Real Bold Predictions, we actually have a system of checks and balances. This is where I will give truly a bold prediction. And Graham, if he thinks it's bold enough, we'll hit the bold enough bell. Well, he's actually, I'm sorry, Graham's got the air horn. I have a bell. He has an air horn. But if it's not bold enough, we do get a buzzer. Simple as how it works. Because I see it on sports programming all the time, these bold predictions of, believe it or not, I saw a bold prediction of in the AFC Championship game that both Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes will each factor into 2 touchdowns. Each factor into a touchdown. I'm like, oh, really? Like, 2 of the best quarterbacks in the NFL are going to factor into a couple of touchdowns? Wow. Real bold. We step out there. But before we actually get into a Super Bowl prediction, Graham, I'm actually going to give a bold prediction for UNC basketball tomorrow as they play Pitt. UNC's leading scorer on Saturday, Seth Trimble, leading scorer for Carolina. I feel like this is one of those games where his athleticism, because he had a concussion, just kind of getting back into the game flow of things. I think with the week off, with his athleticism and his speed, we know that Hubert Davis trusts him a lot on the defensive end of the floor. That's why he's out there on the floor a lot. My gut tells me that against Pitt, that we're going to see him turn just generate a lot of transition buckets. Whether he comes up with a steal and takes it down the floor himself, or him himself in transition with someone else, whether it's Cadeau or Ian Jackson, just coming up with shots in transition. I think Seth Trimble, this might be the game where it's the guy you least expect. Because if you say, R.J. Davis is going to lead the team in scoring, okay, well, he should. He's a fifth-year senior and reigning ACC Player of the Year. Or if you were telling me Ian Jackson's going to do it, well, yeah, he's their top freshman. But this feels like a game where Seth Trimble just goes off like we saw early in the year a couple times, especially when they scrimmaged Memphis.
Yep.
R.J. Davis didn't play in that game. But when they scrimmaged Memphis early in the year, has an outstanding performance. Do not be shocked if Seth Trimble gets hot on Saturday. All right, next one, Graham. Let's go to NC State basketball. NC State basketball shoots over 40% from 3 against Stanford. But I say this, though, with the caveat, Graham. They only take like 8 threes in the game. Or 9. They take 9 threes in the game. Like, they don't shoot a lot of them. That's the thing. But, like, they'll hit a few, but they won't take many of them. This is something we've seen from NC State a few times where, hey, you know what? They might catch fire, a quote-unquote fire from 3. They knock down a few shots, but they just don't take a lot of them. And I think part of it is going to be if Stanford goes zone, if NC State knocks down a few threes early, especially if they get a couple transition buckets and they go zone, they're just not going to take a lot of three-pointers. And they're just going to try and get into the paint a little bit, whatever it is, and they're just going to get trapped inside that zone. So I just think they might shoot over 40%, Graham, but they're not going to actually take a lot of threes.
Is your third caveat on this real bold prediction is that they win the game too?
No. I will not make that bold prediction.
I was going to say, if they're shooting 40% on just 9 attempts.
Exactly. They're only going to take like 9. But they'll shoot over 40% on them, though. We've seen stretches of games where they've only shoot like 10 three-pointers.
Yeah.
Which is just wild.
It feels like they've really...
in today's basketball?
Yeah, they've really dialed it back a lot, it seems, recently. And that was like part of Kevin Keats' system, is that he wanted to kind of run and gun, shoot from behind the arc. But we just haven't really seen it as of late, probably because of just their overall bad shooting performance.
All right, next one up here on Real Bold Predictions, Graham. Saquon Barkley scores 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley scores 2 touchdowns, but one of them is a receiving touchdown. The guy's been a workhorse all year. And let's be honest, with all the talent that they have on offense, he might be their best player. He might be their best player. And you know what? I'm going to sound like Dan Fouts from the Waterboy. Hey, last game of the season, can't hold anything back. I would not be surprised if Saquon Barkley, would not be surprised if he gets 35 touches. Would not be surprised. 25 carries, catching 10 passes. Would not be surprised if he gets that heavy of a workload. Not shocked at all. All right, Graham, next one up here. Do you have a real bold prediction you want to make? If you don't have one, that's okay.
Taylor Swift will be shown 5 or more times during the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Buzzer that. She might be shown 5.5 times before kickoff.
Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Will score a receiving touchdown.
Now that's bold.
They're going to go Philly.
That's bold.
They're going to go Philly special from a few years ago in order to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to beat them at their own game with some trickery.
I love it.
Jalen Hurts receiving touchdown for the Eagles.
Bold prediction. The Super Bowl MVP will be a defensive player. I have a feeling, my gut's telling me this, because again, we talked about it earlier. Both these defenses are great, but completely different in terms of how they generate pressure, just their philosophies. Complete opposites. It would not surprise me if we see, for example, Cooper DeJean come up with a pick 6. I would not be surprised if Chris Jones gets a strip sack fumble and scoops it up himself and runs 10 yards for a touchdown. I would not be surprised if we get big plays from the defense. We talk about offense, to me, way too much. And because we follow fantasy sports, we just lump defense and special teams together. We talk so much about the playmakers on offense a lot because it's a lot more tangible for us to see, just in terms of counting stats, yards, receptions, all that stuff. But I have a gut. Mike tells me that we're going to see some fireworks from these defenses.
Jalen Carter as well. Can't forget about him.
Yes.
Full participant in practice day. He'd been dealing with an illness, but he says he's not missing this game. How could you?
Yeah, exactly. How could you? How could you? He's not missing this game for sure. But yeah, defensive MVP. I actually would love to see it. I would love to see that the Super Bowl MVP is a defensive player. If I had to pick, Darius Slay, defensive MVP if it's Philadelphia, and I'll go Chris Jones, defensive MVP if it's Kansas City. Those are my real bold predictions. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. On the other side, NC State is in action. UNC is in action. Duke's in action. Canes lost last night. More about Super Bowl 59 and starting 5 coming up.
It's Heart Month. I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm here with Dr. Andrew Sampson of Wake Med Heart and Vascular. Doctor, in simplest terms, what exactly is a heart murmur, and how do you know if you have one?
So a heart murmur is just turbulent blood flow going through the different chambers of the heart. It can be completely benign, something that has no effect on your health, or it can be due to a heart valve that works inappropriately or incorrectly. And that can be due to either narrowing of the heart valve or a leaky heart valve. You typically are diagnosed with a heart murmur by your primary care doctor who listens to your chest with a stethoscope. Once that has been evaluated and it's been determined that you do have a heart murmur, the next step is typically an echocardiogram or an ultrasound of the heart for further evaluation.
If you have more questions about heart murmurs or anything about your general heart health, go ahead and visit wakemed.org. And keep listening all month for more information and tips about heart health.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
In no way, shape, or form are the Dallas Mavericks title contenders. To me, it's more likely they don't make the playoffs than win a title. They're not winning a title. They're not getting to the finals. This is not a finals team by any stretch of the imagination. They got worse now and later.
I vehemently disagree. I think the Dallas Mavericks are closer to a title.
Unsportsmanlike. Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You know what you deserve? The joy of a remote start. Sound Station and Security can install remote start systems in your car. Start your car from inside your house while you eat breakfast, and it's all toasty warm by the time you get inside. Or on those hot summer days that are sure to come, start your car and get the air conditioning running so you don't sweat. A remote start system is an awesome treat, and you can get it at Sound Station and Security with 2 locations in downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax-confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
What would you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold, hard cash. You can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760, LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. A beautiful day out there to kick off the weekend with temperatures in the 70s. Tonight, the clouds roll in. A couple of spotty showers are possible, and it's cooler with a low of 44. Cloudy and cooler on Saturday. A couple of spotty showers around with a high of only 53.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones closes the day down 444 points at 44,303.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim this afternoon. Graham Hill producing the show today. By the way, Tim's going to be out for a couple weeks. We're on baby watch. He and his wife are expecting a baby girl. Plan was for the baby to come today. I have not heard anything. And that's okay. Graham, I think you and I should be well down the list of people being like, hey, baby's here. Hey, we're in labor. We're well down that list.
Or just wait for the company email.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine. Let's get into the starting 5, starting off with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Canes lost last night, 2-1. It It was frustrating. And I think, Graham, the frustration that fans are feeling right now because the team has been in a little bit of a funk, and I think there are a multitude of reasons for that funk. First of all, they haven't been healthy, literally. I'm not saying that just from an injury standpoint. I'm just saying a lot of guys have been sick. Like, there are guys, Rob Brittenmore talked about guys have shown up to the rink like throwing up, sick. Not a good feeling, but not a good feeling. So, like, you guys that are playing through illness, there are times where Rod didn't even know who's even going to be playing that night. Heck, they played a game this past week against the Chicago Blackhawks, but because of illness and so forth, they had to play with one less skater. They only had 17. You're supposed to have 18. I was like, Rod, all you do is hit me up, man. I got my skates in my car.
There you go.
Play. I got my sticks are in my car. I'll be the 18th guy that gets 0 minutes. Just let me keep the sweater. Just let me keep it. But that's what this team's been dealing with. There have been times where the lines get shuffled up because, again, Rod doesn't know going to a game. Wait, I thought I'm going to have Sebastian Aho. He gets sick for a game. Jack Roslovic gets sick. I mean, heck, the game that Sebastian Aho was sick, that's also Taylor Hall. We finds out at 4 o'clock, 2.5 hours before they take the ice for warm-ups. Oh, yeah, Taylor's sick. He can't go. When I just got Ryan Suzuki that's called up from Chicago of the American Hockey League, and I'm also got to do that with one less player. There's times I'm playing with 11 forwards and 7 defense. And who knows what's happening?
Also had to bring up Scott Morrow, too.
Yeah, to bring up Scott Morrow because you needed a body.
They've just been playing musical chairs with the Chicago Wolves pretty much.
So that's where this team is. Along with, we also have these new guys in Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall, whom I mentioned, missing time because he got sick. That's the situation this team has been in lately. And you know what? Frustration builds when you're not performing well. Frustration was visible from Canes players yesterday. Heck, we saw Mikko Rantanen break his stick over his leg. The guy wants to perform well, and he's not producing numbers-wise like he expects. It's not because of this system. The guy's had scoring chances. He's had a lot of really good looks yesterday, too. Sometimes it just doesn't find the back of the net. I play beer league hockey, and there are times where our team plays really, really well, puts tons of great scoring chances, and nothing seems to go. It just happens. And they've been a little bit of a funk lately. They play tomorrow, 1 o'clock, 12:30 Storm Watch with Adam Gold right here on 99.9 The Fan. But something that's been lacking, Graham, the power play. Rob Brittenmore spoke candidly about the power play, which has only gone 2 of 46 in the calendar year of 2025.
Yeah, our power play stinks. I'll just leave it at that. Like our penalty kill did a nice job. So that's not the difference in the game. It's if they get a power play goal, then it really is. But we at least saw that off. But we got to find a way to score some goals. And I don't know what the answer is. We got certainly putting up good opportunities. But we just got to finish.
Yeah, you said right there, Graham. Power play stinks. Like I mentioned, only 2 of their last 46. That dates back to the start of the 2025 calendar year. So January through yesterday. Or just say January 1 through yesterday. Not great. Not great at all. And it's also equally frustrating. On a couple of games ago when they played the Winnipeg Jets, you thought you had a power play goal from Jackson Blake, a rookie. You thought you had it. Call gets overturned because they said Mikko Rantanen goalie interference. Call eventually gets overturned. So that goal gets taken off the board. Then on a power play, Mikko Rantanen in front beats the goalie clean, goes off the post. It's like, man, there's two. If they get those 2, we're all like, hey, power play's fixed. Them's the break sometimes. All right, that's number 5. Let's go and get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together.
NC State in action tomorrow, taking on Stanford. They're on the road out there in California, taking on Stanford. They lost to Berkeley, Cal Berkeley, this the other day. Here's the stat. Here's the number for NC State. We talked about this about a half hour ago, but I know there's a lot of different people listening, so I want to give this number out for people. We have talked about on this program, whether it's Tim, myself, Graham, we've all talked about it, the struggles late in games for NC State men's basketball and head coach Kevin Keatts. the struggles late. So I wanted to make sure that my eyes matched what the numbers said, and vice versa. Do the numbers match what my eyes are seeing? They're on a 7-game losing streak, NC State is. The longest under Kevin Keats. If you look at let's go to the last 4 minutes of the game, all right, that crunch time. The last 4 minutes of the game, over this 7-game losing streak, NC State is scoring just over 5 points during that 4-minute stretch. Just over 5. Whereas defensively, they're allowing about 8. So over the last 4 minutes of the game, during this losing streak, they're being outscored 8-5, roughly. Roughly about 2.5 points. Like, well, it's only 2.5 points. How many close one-possession losses have they had, Graham? Like, I'm sorry, we'll look at, the NC State loss to UNC where they lost by 2 points.
Yep.
These other games, like, for example, when you had a lead against Virginia Tech in the last 4 minutes of the game, you only score 4 points, and Virginia Tech scores 12 and you lose a really close game. Or you're trying to scratch and claw your way back against a Cal, like you just did the other day. You get outscored 10-5 in the last 4 minutes of the game. Against SMU, you get outscored 7-5 in the last 4 minutes. That's the stuff I'm talking about. Like, so the numbers are backing up what our eyes are seeing. There's nothing that we can point to and say that says, hey, you know what? We're showing signs of progress and turnaround. Like, we're seeing the execution. Maybe the execution is there, the shot's just not being made, or whatever it might be. They have a plan. They have an identity. This is something we have brought up for weeks with this NC State basketball team. What's their identity? What do they do? Are they, hey, we're going to be a tough, physical basketball team that's going to beat you up and down the floor. You're going to feel bruises late in the game, and that's when we're going to take over because we're just going to grind you down. Are we a team that gets up and down the floor in transition, that pressures you all over the floor? What are you? We still don't know that, and we're 20-plus games into the year. And we still don't know who you are. And I think the biggest thing is I don't think they know who they are. It's the Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3. Duke basketball is on the road at Clemson tomorrow. We haven't really touched in on this game a whole lot. Duke is really good, understatement of the year. Clemson's also in a position right now where they're an NCAA tournament team. Right now they are projected by Joe Lunardi of ESPN, as of this morning, projected to be an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament. So good, like right there in the middle of the field, right there in the middle of the pack. That's what Clemson is. Duke is right now staring at the first time, I think, Graham, you said since, 99-2000, going, 13-0 in conference?
Duke is currently 7-0 on the road.
Oh, 7-0 on the road, yes.
In true road games. Mm-hmm. With a win tomorrow against the Tigers, if they improved to 8-0, it'd be the first time since the 1999-2000 season
there you go.
they've started off 8-0 in road games.
So it's been a quarter century since they've gone 8-0.
That's how good Duke is. Like, they're at a point now they're just trying to beat their own program's accolades.
That standard's pretty high. If you're beating your own program's accolades, it's pretty good, especially if you're a program like Duke. So that's kind of what they're, quote-unquote, chasing, for lack of a better term. The big question for me is, does Duke slip up at some point in conference? Duke doesn't have a lot of tough games left. It's this game against Clemson. They have a neutral site game against Illinois, who's ranked 23rd currently in the country. And you're on the road at Carolina. The reason why I say on the road at Carolina is because the rivalry aspect, going on the road at Chapel Hill. That's it. That's it. So really, this Clemson game might be the second toughest game that Duke has left on their schedule. And I throw in the ACC tournament on top of it, unless they play Clemson in the ACC tournament. That's all we're staring at for this Duke team. If there's a slip up in conference on the road, this might be it. If there's a slip up in conference, if it's not the UNC game at the end of the year, it's probably this one. Clemson's a pretty good team. I know they don't have the likes of P.J. Hall and some other guys that left after last year, but you know what? This Clemson team, there are guys on it that went to the Elite Eight last year. Brad Brownell, pretty good basketball coach. Again, this Clemson team went to the Elite Eight last year. Should be a good one. Duke should be heavily favored in this one. I think if you're Duke, the big challenge for them, a week ago, or this past Saturday when they played against Carolina, a ton of emotion into it. The challenge that I said when they went to play Syracuse the other day was you can't have the emotional letdown going up to Syracuse and just be like, yeah, guys, we're fine. They didn't have the emotional letdown. Maybe they didn't do the scoring production that they wanted to have early in the game, but they didn't have the emotional letdown. That's a big challenge, again, going in another game like this. Do not have the emotional letdown early. Clemson's going to bring it. Because for Clemson, winning this game solidifies their resume even further to make the NCAA tournament. So, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Clemson's also coming off that 3-point loss to Georgia Tech at home this past Tuesday, so they're going to have a little bit of a fire underneath them as well.
Oh, yeah, very much so. Great call, Graham. Great call on that one.
Also, the odds, since you mentioned it, I had it right in front of me. Duke is only a minus 7.5-point favorite for tomorrow's game against the Tigers.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Maybe that Georgia Tech loss, like you said, might light a little fire underneath Clemson. That should be, honestly, I think it's going to be a pretty good game. This game might be a single digits game going into the last 4 minutes. Like it's 72-65. Under 4 media timeout in the second half. You might have that, which I think for Duke ain't a bad thing. It ain't a bad thing because they need some of those pressure situations because their schedule the rest of the year is not that good. All right, that's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Two teams that need a win this weekend, North Carolina, Pitt. Guess who plays each other this weekend? North Carolina and Pitt. I've dubbed this, Graham, as the loser leaves town match, and the reason why I say it is this. On the latest bracket projections of Joe Lunardi of ESPN, he has both Pitt and North Carolina on the outside looking in. Not as like the first 4 teams out, but the next 4. So basically on the field of 68 that he has projected right now, of the teams on the outside looking in, he has Pitt at 73 and North Carolina at 74. So again, on the outside looking in. So if you're standing next to someone in line trying to get in through the door, you're facing each other. Well, if you lose, guess what? You fall back further in line. That's what this game does. That's why I say loser leaves town. There's no way if you lose this game, in my opinion, for Pitt or North Carolina, if you lose this game, that you have a chance of getting an at-large into the NCAA tournament if you lose this game. Now, I'm also not saying a win guarantees that you're going to get in, but a loss guarantees that you're going to be out. And for North Carolina, there aren't a lot of great opportunities left to build your resume. You have Pitt this Saturday. You have to win it. You have Clemson on Monday. Kind of feels like you got to need that one. But then the rest of your schedule this season, outside of Duke at the end of the year, you're not going to get any sort of bump from any of those schools. Not when you're playing at Syracuse, home against State, home against UVA, at Florida State, home against Miami, at Virginia Tech. 2 of those teams I mentioned, NC State and Miami, might not even make the ACC tournament. Miami's pretty much a lock to miss the ACC tournament. They're dead last in the conference. And NC State's 2 games back from even getting into the ACC tournament. So you're not going to get any help from winning those games, but it'll damn sure hurt you if you lose them. North Carolina is on the verge of missing the NCAA tournament as an at-large for the second time in 3 years. for the second time in 3 years. That's if for North Carolina, that's unacceptable. That is completely unacceptable for North Carolina. Their standards are way higher than, hey, we might have to scratch and claw to possibly be a bubble team. The standards there are so much higher than that. It's unacceptable for North Carolina. It really is. But they have to win. Straight up have to win on Saturday. If they don't, they're going to have to win the ACC tournament to get in. And heck, even if they do win tomorrow, they still might be in a position where they have to win the ACC tournament to get into the NCAA tournament. You're going to have to pull an NC State from last year. Because guess what? North Carolina is currently at 7 in the ACC. The 7th ranked team in the conference is North Carolina. 1 game ahead of the team they play tomorrow in Pitt. 1 game ahead. You've already lost to them once. Pitt will have a tiebreaker against you. They won't beat you twice. Now put you at 8. If you drop below 8 into anywhere between 9 and 15 in the conference, which is very possible, you're playing on Tuesday of the ACC tournament, which means you finish somewhere between 9th and 15th. UNC basketball should never sniff Tuesday of the ACC tournament. But they're on the verge of being that. I know it sounds doom and gloom. I hate bashing, but it's just reality. The standard there is so much higher than what they're producing. They are staring down second missed NCAA tournament in 3 years. All right, that's number 2. Let's get to number 1. Big game Sunday. Big game Sunday. Super Bowl LIX. Super Bowl 59. Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Philadelphia Eagles this weekend. We're seeing a lot of athletes down on Radio Row, down in New Orleans, a lot of football players making the rounds, talking to media, talking to different shows, whatever it might be. We actually saw, believe it or not, Bryce Young on ESPN. He's on SportsCenter. He's been on Kay Adams, part of FanDuel Sports Network, and so much more. And he actually talked about a player for the Philadelphia Eagles that he has looked up to as both a player and a person, and some Alabama ties in Jalen Hurts. Here's what Bryce Young had to say earlier today.
Going to Alabama, him and Tua were kind of the people I watched a lot to learn the offense when I first got there. So I watched a ton of film from him there, and then now, we've had a ton of the same opponents. So just being able to see him operate on film, I have a ton of respect for him as a player, as a quarterback, and also really good dude. Every time I talk to him, he's been really cool. So I have a ton of respect for him.
So one thing that Bryce Young actually had talked about as well, I actually heard him say this yesterday because Bryce Young and the Panthers face both the Chiefs and the Eagles this year. And he was asked about their defenses. Hey, how does the Chiefs defense compare to the Eagles defense? Vice versa. Compare and contrast. And he said there couldn't be 2 totally different defenses in terms of how they play. We saw, if you watch Panthers games this season, you saw the Panthers play, again, the Chiefs on the road. The Chiefs at home and the Eagles on the road. In Kansas City, blitzed like crazy. Sent pressure all over the place. Blitzed like crazy. Now, granted, Carolina does not have the receivers that Philly has. They don't. Which, by the way, I know Tim mentioned it yesterday. Adam Thielen says he's coming back next year. He announced that yesterday. But they don't. They simply don't have the receivers that Carolina doesn't have the receivers that Philly does. So can you blitz as much, knowing that you have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown possibly on one-on-one coverage? Can you blitz as much? Are you willing to do that, knowing the talent that they have on the outside? Also, there's that Saquon Barkley guy. If you try and blitz and he gets a check down or a pass out of the backfield, he's one-on-one against a linebacker or a safety, I'm going to pick Saquon in that matchup more times than not. So how does Steve Spagnuolo adjust to the personnel? And vice versa. We've seen the Philadelphia Eagles this season, we saw it against the Carolina Panthers, didn't blitz a whole lot. They don't. They run a lot of zone defense, and they use that front four to just get after the quarterback. They really do. Brandon Graham, I think, is set to return for Philadelphia this weekend, their experienced edge rusher. So that's where they're sitting right now. They have one of their top guys, one of their experienced guys coming back. All right, that helps. Nakobe Dean, one of their top linebackers, looks like he's hurt and is not going to be playing. But they have individual players that allow them to have a lot of versatility with their lineup, or at least in terms of what they do. To me, the guy, for me, it's Cooper DeJean. Their defensive back. He plays nickel corner, but also if you need to, he can almost slide in to be like a weak side linebacker. So it gives Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, a lot of versatility. It's going to be a fun matchup. They're two totally different defenses, different styles of play, and that's what makes – they always talk about when it comes to fights, whether it's mixed martial arts, boxing, styles make fights. When you have these contrasting styles of play, these contrasting philosophies, that's where things get really interesting in terms of just fun. If you have two teams that are doing the exact same thing, okay, doesn't mean it can't be fun, but it's when you have the team that blitzes like crazy versus the team that doesn't do it hardly at all. It's a different dynamic. It's a lot of fun. To me, the Super Bowl, it's going to be a blast. Sit back and just enjoy it. It's going to be fun. Graham, do you have a prediction for the game?
I just said that I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win, and actually one prediction that I think I'm going to have, we've seen the Chiefs offense do a lot of trickery this year. Who's to say that Carson Wentz doesn't come in under center at some point down the red zone, and they take a play out of the Eagles playbook a couple of years ago when Carson Wentz was their starting quarterback, and it's Carson Wentz. They run the Philly special just with him as the Chiefs, and Carson Wentz scores another receiving touchdown. This time just against his former team with the Kansas City Chiefs.
So he saw Nick Foles do it for him when he was hurt when the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So now he's going to go and do it against his former team, and that's what's going to win it for him.
He's going to go up to Andy Reid and say, "Hey, coach, look,
come on, just let me have one here. Let me have one." That actually.
I mean, you want to talk about not expecting him, and you're just watching the game. You're looking at the call. Wait a minute, who's this guy? It's Carson Wentz.
The storylines that would come from that. Now I'm rooting for that to happen. I think it's hard to pick against the Chiefs. It's hard to do it. So I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win, but in my gut,
during this commercial break,
Philly to do it.
During this commercial break, I'm going to go try to find odds on that. Carson Wentz, anytime
touchdown, hammer it. It's the Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We need a couple contestants, Graham, for the numbers game. It's your last chance this week to win a $50 gift card to Adam and Eve. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, folks. So spice up your love life with a trip to Adam and Eve. Visit any 6 Triangle Adam and Eve locations where pleasure begins and passion never ends. Again, we have a $50 gift card to Adam and Eve. 919-860-5FAN. 919-860-5326. We need 2 contestants for the numbers game. If you want to win, you got to play. If you want to play, you got to call. 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with Upfit Solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed Upfit Solutions from Van Products.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello,
Creighton Blackwell here from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Tonight we are at Green Level High School, and we're here to celebrate the newest Scholar Athlete of the Month, Lexi Taylor.
My family is definitely like my biggest support through everything. My sister and my parents both support me through my hardest days and my best days, and they're always there to support me.
Lexi's a phenomenal athlete, comfortable with whatever you ask her to do. She's strong, she's poised, she doesn't get flustered easily.
And she's just like grown up so much as like a captain and a teammate, and she's been a captain now for 2 years, and I really just think she's been like such a great help to our team.
Well, I've been cheering with her since 7th grade and we're seniors now, so I've kind of like watched Lexi like grow up, I feel like, and she's like done the same with me. So I've like seen her like step into a leadership role, and I feel like she's just always super encouraging and keeps a positive attitude.
It means a lot to me to just be able to be recognized in such like a wide area with so many amazing athletes. So I just feel great to like feel like someone's like seeing all the hard work that I've been putting into my sport and my academics. So I'm very grateful for it.
Congratulations, Lexi.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone, and even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
It's a drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox sitting in for Tim Donnelly this afternoon. Set here to play the numbers game. But Graham, I think we had a contestant drop, so we actually still have a line open. We have a $50 gift card to Adam and Eve. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so spice up your love life with a trip to Adam and Eve. Visit any 6 Triangle Adam and Eve locations where pleasure begins and passion never ends. 919-860-5FAN, 919-860-5326. We had a caller drop. Say, hey, second chance. Right now we have Tom and Clayton, who's ready to play the numbers game. Tom, I got a question for you. Real quick, as we're waiting to get our second contestant.
Okay.
What are you looking forward to most in your sports weekend? What are you looking forward to most? Wait, what's the game? What's the event? What are you most looking forward to this weekend? But it has to be sports related.
Super Bowl, of course.
It's a very easy answer.
That's easy for this weekend.
Very easy answer. Okay. Tom, because you actually were first on the line and our second person dropped, you will go first. But I'm going to go ahead and bring on Christian here real fast. Christian, I'm going to get your answer. What are you looking forward to most this weekend, but it has to be sports related? Christian?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. What are you looking forward to most this weekend, but it's got to be sports related?
Obviously, just the Super Bowl, getting together with family and friends and watching the game.
It's always a good time. Always a good time. All right, we are going to go with Tom and Clayton first. All right, so Christian, you stay on the line. You're going to have your chance. All right, Tom, here's your 4 categories. You can choose from any one of these 4 categories, all right? We have NFL all-time Chiefs, NFL all-time Eagles. We have the NBA Paris 2024 gold and silver team. So these are players that played for either USA or France in the gold medal game between those two teams in the Olympics here in 2024 back in Paris. And we also have NHL Hurricanes only.
NFL all-time Chiefs.
Chiefs. Okay, so we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock, Tom. I'm going to give you the name of the player. Even though we know it's Chiefs, I'm still going to say the name of the team. You got to give us the jersey number. Try to get as many as you can in 30 seconds or less. By the way, we've had 3 people over the last 2 days get 5 for 5s. All right?
Sounds good.
So no pressure. All right, Tom, are you ready?
Yes.
Time will start when you hear the horn. Travis Kelce, Kansas City Chiefs.
87.
Correct. Tyreek Hill, Kansas City Chiefs.
10.
Correct. Tony Gonzalez, Kansas City Chiefs.
88.
Correct. Larry Johnson, Kansas City Chiefs.
32.
Incorrect. Kareem Hunt, Kansas City Chiefs.
29.
Correct. Larry Johnson, Kansas City Chiefs.
28.
Incorrect. Larry Johnson, Kansas City Chiefs.
23.
Incorrect. Larry Johnson, Kansas City Chiefs.
26.
Larry Johnson, Kansas City. Oh, so close. Larry Johnson actually wore 2 numbers for the Chiefs. He wore 27 and 34. You danced around both of them. But, hey, you got 4 out of 5.
Hey, not bad. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I'm not going to lie. I was hoping for the 5 for 5. All right, stay on the line. You've got 4. We're going to go to Christian in Raleigh. Christian, are you there, sir?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, Christian. Choose from one of the remaining categories. NFL all-time Eagles. What's that?
The NBA one.
Oh, you want the NBA one? Okay. All right. So here's how it is. I'm going to give you the name of the player and the team. You give us the jersey number. Now, these, again, are players that play for USA or France. Now, I'm not looking for their Olympic number. I'm going to look for the number of the team that I give you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Christian, if you're ready. Again, 30 seconds are left. You got to get all 5. You got to get all 5. All right. Time starts when you hear the horn. Devin Booker, Phoenix Suns.
1.
Correct. Rudy Gobert, Minnesota Timberwolves.
27.
Correct. Joel Embiid, Philadelphia 76ers.
3.
Incorrect. Victor Wembanyama, San Antonio Spurs.
1.
Correct. Tyrese Halliburton, Indiana Pacers.
1.
Incorrect. Joel Embiid, Philadelphia 76ers.
21.
Correct. Tyrese Halliburton, Indiana Pacers.
21.
Incorrect. Tyrese Halliburton, Indiana Pacers.
0.
Correct. Yes. Was that in time?
That was at the buzzer.
That was that. I think the shot came in before the buzzer.
No, yeah, he was good. 29 seconds. I saw it.
29 seconds. Christian and Raleigh, a 5 for 5 to pull out the win with a buzzer beater.
Literally, yeah.
Nice.
That was that. You know
he
what?
went Tyrese Halliburton right there with the.
He did
by beating the shot clock.
Beating the shot clock. Wow! Congrats. That was awesome. That was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I'm steamed up after that. Christian, congratulations. By the way, Tom, awesome job. Like seriously, that was. You were right there. I hope the Super Bowl as good as this numbers game was. Simple as that. Gosh, that was fantastic. Christian, congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
By the way, Christian, since I have you on the line, go ahead and give us a prediction for Sunday. Who wins? Maybe a score? Give us something for Sunday.
I think Mahomes is the new Brady. You just can't go against him. I think the Chiefs come out. I think it's going to be kind of close, maybe 28-21.
28-21, Chiefs win this one?
Yep.
Okay. All right. There it is. You heard it right there from Christian himself. Christian, stay on the line. Graham's got to get some information from you. Congratulations. Literally a buzzer beater. That was awesome. Fantastic. Again, stay on the line. Graham's going to get some information. All right. All right. So that's, again, Christian with a $50 gift card to Adam and Eve. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. The corner is right around the corner. So spice up your love life with a trip to Adam and Eve. Visit any 6 Triangle Adam and Eve locations where pleasure begins and passion never ends. That was fantastic. That was awesome. The numbers game, I got to give it to the people out there. For you listening, all props to you all. You guys come in ready to go. Ready to go. Christian knew exactly what category he wanted already. He was ready for it. Just the last 3 days of the numbers game, really the last couple weeks, we've had a lot of 5 for 5s. Heck, just a couple days ago, we had 2 guys go 5 for 5 in the same day. We had 2 go 5 for 5 in the same day. One got it in 22 seconds. The other got it in 17. Boy. Then Tom and Clayton had was right there on the edge of getting 5 for 5 as well. Man, he'll never forget Larry Johnson's number for the Kansas City Chiefs ever again, I can tell you that. That was absolutely fantastic. So, seriously, thanks to you all. You guys, honestly, as listeners, you all make the numbers game a ton of fun for us. Paul Ihander, our program director, which, by the way, shout out to Paul real fast. If you guys are just over on X, at Paul Ihander, give him a follow if you can. Also, give him some love. There's a company out there, Barrett Sports Media, does a poll every year of top radio stations in the country, top shows, top program directors, both large markets and mid-major markets. Us here in Raleigh, we were considered a mid-major market. Paul Ihander in the top 20 of program directors in the country here at 99.9 The Fan. So I want to give him a shout-out as well. But Paul does a lot of work behind the scenes. He's the one that actually compiles the list of the names and the numbers. He puts in that work every single day. He does that. So these numbers games that we've been having, and some of them have not been easy. They've been quite challenging. He's the one that puts that all together. So big thanks to him, and big thanks to you. You guys seriously make the numbers game a ton of fun. We look forward to it every single day at 5:30. So big thanks to you all for keep crushing it. It's The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. There's a lot of games coming up this weekend. We've kind of teased some picks, but Graham and I, we're making picks. Who's winning the Super Bowl on Sunday? Pitt, Carolina. Who you got? Clemson, Duke. NC State's in action. A lot, so much more. We're making picks on the other side.
Tim Donnelly here. And fellas, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. It's time to start thinking about the perfect gift for your special someone. Bailey's Fine Jewelry has curated a Valentine's gift guide to make your shopping experience seamless and impressive. Think of Valentine's Day like a big championship game. You want to be well prepared. You want to have a great game plan, and hopefully at the end, someone will have a new piece of jewelry and a big old smile on their face. Only I'm not talking championship rings. I'm talking about a well-chosen piece of jewelry from Bailey's that's not just a gift, it's a lasting memory. Now, if you need a game plan, the gift guide at BaileyBox.com is perfect for making sure you have the entire playbook at your disposal. Top designers, heart-shaped jewelry, Bailey's collections, all with the exceptional and personalized service that Bailey's is known for. So look up BaileyBox.com and make sure to check out their Valentine's gift guide so we can all get a big W on Valentine's this year.
Move your sports day forward.
They felt that they couldn't get there with Marty Natchez and Jack Drury. That's what a trade is. It wasn't going to work with those two guys. But perhaps with Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall, it does work. And maybe that window just got a little bit bigger. Time will tell. Time will tell. That is the biggest elephant in the room. This is a new era of Carolina Hurricanes hockey.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Bonuses used to be everywhere. Boxes of cereal, a baker's dozen, airline upgrades, even without quadruple diamond platinum status. Life is better with the bonus. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery is adding bonus chances to multiply your win on Multiply the Cash scratch-offs. More chances than ever to win over $140 million in total prizes. Because everything is better with a bonus. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.31 to 4.86. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
"This is ludicrous."
But that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim? Holla at State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number Limited Edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Take advantage of Atlantic Spas and Billiards Triple Play Hot Tub Sale.
Buy a hot spring or Caldera Spa, get a free 75-inch TV to watch the big game. With our Triple Play hot tub sale, you'll receive a 75-inch TV, 12-month same-as cash financing, and free accessories. Make the winter fun by soaking in a toasty hot tub from Atlantic Spas and Billiards. And save big. We have over 20 hot tubs on display and pool tables, saunas, grills, and games galore. Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Glenwood Avenue, Raleigh, and Market Street, Wilmington.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
I hope the games this weekend were as hotly contested as our numbers game just was. Again, big shout out to Christian and Raleigh going 5 for 5, getting that 5th one at the buzzer to sneak out a win over Tom and Clayton, who got 4 out of 5. By the way, Graham, our guy Micah on our YouTube live chat, he even said Christian's going to get a perfect score. Called it. He's claiming he's ready to go 5 for 5 on Monday. We'll see if he gets through. Speaking of our YouTube live chat, we actually do have a poll that's sitting up there right now. Who's going to win between the Chiefs and Eagles this Sunday? Right now, 60% of the people on the Chiefs, which makes sense. But, Graham, you and I have some games to predict this weekend. Let's start making some picks.
Yes, we do. We'll first start on the hardwood with college basketball, and this is actually a game that you can hear right here on the Fan tonight.
Oh.
We have number 12 St. John's versus number 19 UConn with the Huskies a 3.5-point favorite again. Play-by-play coverage can be found coming up at 7:45. Well, pregame coverage starts at 7:45. Tip-off is at 8. Dennis, who are we picking this one? I know this is kind of out there, but top 25 college basketball matchup. Let's see what you got.
All right, and this is at UConn?
Correct.
Oh, this is tough. Gosh, you were talking about a battle of coaches with some
pedigree.
Interesting some pedigree, yes, but also some interesting personality.
That's also true. I didn't think about that.
Rick Pitino, and of the head coach of St. John's, and Dan Hurley, the head coach of UConn. Oh, this is a tough one. I might have to go the Johnnies on this one. St. John's is 20-3 in the year, only 1 loss in conference. They've won 9 straight. I might have to go with the Johnnies on this one. I know Big East fans are stoked about the St. John's being back in prominence.
St. John's reminds me a lot of Duke outside of just the talented freshman class that they do not have, and also the size. But as far as defense, they just love to suffocate teams, and they're so good at off-ball movement and switching off and communicating. And I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, look at that. They've only lost 3 games all year. I would have to go to St. John's as well. Also, I'm just not really a big Dan Hurley fan. That's besides the point. Let's go to the rink tomorrow. NHL, of course, you mentioned Utah Jazz versus the Carolina Hurricanes.
The Utah Jazz?
Utah Jazz.
The hockey team showing up?
I still got basketball on my mind.
I can only imagine.
The Utah Hockey
Club. Utah Jazz.
Utah Hockey Club versus the Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes a 1.5 favorite. Play-by-play coverage, of course, right here on the Fan. Storm Watch with Adam Gold begins at 12:30. Puck drop at 1 o'clock. Pancakes and tailgates for the Hurricanes tomorrow, Dennis.
Yeah. Well, I'm really curious to see what a guy like Colin Sexton can do skating on the ice for the Utah Jazz.
Yep.
Keontae George, you never know what a small forward like him is going to bring. They got Lauri Markkanen. It's kind of hard to guard that guy for Utah Jazz. Walker Kessler, who just got dunked on by a former lacrosse player the other day. And Kyle Filipowski. He's had success in Lenovo Center. So I might take the Utah Jazz. I'm kidding. I think this is tomorrow's game for Carolina is let's bounce back. Hey, guys, let's bounce back. It's been a rough 3 games. We struggled to score. Half of you are sick, throwing up, and all that kind of stuff, or have been. You're finally maybe getting past it. You're back home. Look, it's your last game before you get a couple weeks of break. I know there's 4 guys on the team that you guys are going to go play in the 4 Nations, but that doesn't start till Wednesday. You're still going to get a couple of days off. Finish it strong. Finish it strong. You're at home. Utah's probably thinking, hey, we got a break coming up. Let's go home. Let's just get out of here. Let's just go home. It's an odd 1 o'clock start. Give me the Canes in this one because they just need that bounce back game. Guys, empty the tank. Let it out. You got a break coming up. So give me the Canes in this one. I will say this about matinee hockey games. Weird start times like the noons, the 1 o'clocks, the weird start times for hockey. Games just get weird.
Yep.
Like they really do. I actually remember
David Ayers was debuted in a matinee hockey game.
It was like a 2 o'clock game. I remember I was filling in doing Storm Watch for Adam Gold a couple years ago on New Year's Day when the Canes played, if I remember correctly, it was at Columbus.
The Blue Jackets, yep.
Yes, and they were down, if I remember correctly, they were down like 3-0, and they
I
came
think
back and won like
4-0.
7 or 4-0, but they came back and won like 7-4.
Yes.
But it was a matinee game. I remember I talked to Trip Tracy about it. I said, yeah, these matinee games can get kind of weird. And he and I talked about it later on. And he's like, yeah, these early puck drops, things just kind of get odd. You just don't know what to expect. So give me the Canes in this one, but it's going to be an odd game, like a 6-4. Something weird like that where it's going to be 2 shorthanded goals, a power play goal, and one of them goes off of some dude's face. And something, things like that are going to happen. Give me the Canes in this one, like 6-4. Weird game.
If you're the Hurricanes,
I said weird a lot right there.
If you're the Hurricanes, you don't even have to win pretty. Like, you just have to win. Like, just get to the break, and, you're playing the Utah Jazz, who is an NBA basketball team. Moving back to basketball, college basketball, loser leaves town match, as you put it today. Pitt versus North Carolina. Carolina actually is favored in this one, 4.5. This is an ESPN televised game at 4 o'clock.
Who's favored in this one? Do you know?
North Carolina, minus 4.5.
4.5. This is tough. Ooh. A week off. I mean, granted, Pitt, I think also had the same thing. A week off at home. And I think Carolina is really going to look at that last 8-9 minutes of the game against Duke and just say, hey, look at what we did, guys. Even though Duke took the foot off the pedal. Give me Carolina in a close one, but it's ugly. I think it's a 68-64 type game. But I'll take Carolina in this one simply based. I mean, I do not feel confident saying that at all. Well, give me Duke. I'm sorry. Give me UNC in this one.
You might be able to feel confident in your next pick. Number 2, Duke versus Clemson. Duke, a 7.5-point favorite. Play-by-play coverage on 99.9 FM HD2 or 6:20 AM Buzz Sports Radio with pregame coverage starting at 5:30 and tip-off at 6:30.
7.5-point favorites on the road at Clemson. Clemson coming off that loss against Georgia Tech. I think Duke wins this one, but it's not easy. I don't think it's not comfortable at all. I think this is actually going to be it's going to be a tighter game than people think. I think Duke wins it by 9. I'm going to go ahead and say 78-69. which would be a nice win. But 78-69, but I think it's a relatively close game throughout.
Kind of like Wake Forest.
Yeah, you know what? That makes perfect sense. Their game against Wake Forest. Yes. I don't think this is going to be a comfortable, like, hey, you know what? Like Syracuse. Like, you're up 25 with 7 minutes left. I don't think it's going to be anything like that.
All right, you were just confident in that one. You might not be confident in this one. College basketball, 9-13 NC State versus 15-8 Stanford. Again, NC State's finishing out their West Coast swing, so Stanford is favored by 4.5. Play-by-play coverage on our family station, Mix 101.5. Pre-game coverage begins at 7, and tip-off is at 8.
I can't pick State. I just can't.
It's starting to get like that.
You know what? Copy-paste from the game against Cal. Basically, copy-paste the last 7 games. It's going to be somewhat close with about 5 minutes left, and State just not going to do anything late. And the other team's going to give me Stanford to win this one by 9. By 9, it's going to be 65-56. Stanford wins this one. Copy-paste.
And then the grand finale with about a minute left in the program. Super Bowl 57, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The line is out, and the Chiefs are favored by 1.5. Play-by-play coverage can be heard on the Fan. The pregame coverage begins as early as 1 o'clock, and of course, kickoff at 6:35.
It's a rematch of Super Bowl 57.
Super Bowl 59.
I believe Kansas City's a 1-point favorite, or 1.5, depending on where you look. This is going to be. I think it might be low scoring, a little bit lower of a score than we saw a couple years ago, because I think both these defenses are really, really good. I think the over-under is somewhere around 49 in this one. Give me Kansas City. I hate saying it. Give me Kansas City to win this one 27-24. 27-24. That's where I see this game going. I hate saying it. Because I'm that guy right now that doesn't want to see the Kansas City Chiefs win. That's me. That's me. Enjoy all the sports this weekend. By the way, Overdrive coming up next year on 99.9 The Fan. The Carolina Hurricanes suffered a loss last night, and I'm telling you, Canes fans, it's okay. Pump the brakes. Next.
From 32 to 2, Kansas City.
The Chiefs have won again. They have beaten the Buffalo Bills 32-29.
Philadelphia.
20, 15, 10, touchdown, Saquon Barkley.
Join 99.9 The Fan on Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th. Super Bowl Sunday on 99.9 The Fan is presented by First Horizon Bank and Wake Med. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
John Porcelain here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. You know the big game is right around the corner, and it's time to start thinking about big game parties. Don't be that guy that doesn't get the best wings in town. So order your wings today from Buffalo Brothers. Come and get Buffalo Brothers Big Game Special. 2 large pizzas and 20 wings for just $50. That's food for the whole family at more than 20% off. But remember, order today as pickup times fill up fast. Buffalo Brothers. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in